Now we're gonna have some fun. All right, I guess we're live. Notifying viewers. So what are we gonna talk about today? Now I think I'm just gonna do what I usually do, and we are going to start with a sermon. And this sermon is going to be likened to the title of this, which is called Adventure Through Time, which is a fucking trance song that I listen to. I ain't listening to it now, but it's a song that I listen to because, you know, it gets me in the zone sometimes. So thank you everyone for joining. As usual, I will be heading to the comment section after I perform my sermon, and then we gonna have discussions. So sit back, relax, or I don't know if you're at the gym or whatever you're doing where you ain't gonna relax, but you're gonna relax your mind as we talk about time. So here Emerald, oh my god, you're so funny. So now when we are talking about topics, most likely, but adventure through time simply means that you are the one with your consciousness traversing through different timelines, okay? And past, present, future do not exist aside from your now moment. So let's say you are fully present in the moment. That would be the now moment, which means you are in the present, which means that if you're totally concentrated there, you likely are not having any resistance to anything from a perceived past or a perceived future because you're concentrated there. And each moment in time where your mind wanders to, let's say, past, what could have happened, what should have happened, this might have happened, I should have said this, but this motherfucker said that, whatever, or future, well, what if this occurs? What if that doesn't occur? What if it doesn't happen in that amount of time, right? You set a deadline, all of this stuff, okay? So let's say you in the shower, but you think you replaying arguments in your mind, okay? Then what's going to happen is that you are summoning that timeline to you now, which is going to cause more of it in each of your now moments because you're summoning it now. But if you were to omit that, whenever it came to your mind, you'd be like, well, okay, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter, I'm here now and everything is good, right? The same thing with future. If you're rehearsing something, what am I going to say to this motherfucker? Should I send out my resume? Should I do this? Should I do that, right? What if this doesn't happen in that amount of time? You're summoning those occurrences to yourself in the now moment, okay? Because the only time that the eternal, the ethereal, God, source, universe, all that is knows is basically now. Everything is now, okay? So there is no past and there is no future, there's just now. However, someone who is focused on the past and things that occurred, they are likely to experience similar scenarios to that, not because there's any there goes the tripod. Not because there's anything wrong with them or they're on, you know, a fucking, you know, loop. I mean, technically it is kind of a mind loop, but if you keep looking at it like that, then you're just going to create more of something that you perceive as a mind loop. So if a past incident pops into your mind now, thank you for the rose. What you're going to do is say, that never happened. No, I'm good. I'm here now. Everything is perfect. Okay. If something from a perceived future pops up in your mind and you're worried about it or anxious about it or you have some fear, you're like, you know what? That moment in time is not occurring now. And I trust that in this now moment, if I am perfect, everything moving forward from my perception of linear time shall be perfect too. Okay. So adventure through time basically means that whenever you are in your imagination, you are accessing a timeline because all timelines exist now simultaneously and you are adventuring through them by your awareness on that timeline now. So even if it's like what I just mentioned in one of my videos, I'm like, oh, you know, you shouldn't manifest a parking spot or a cup of coffee. I mean, listen, you fucking can if you want to, but I mean, likely you don't give a shit about either of those things. But let's just use this as the example here, okay? you're in the shower. Oh, I want to get a parking spot right up front at whatever this venue it is that I'm going to, right? So you're focused there now, right? But that timeline where you got the parking spot close to the venue is already in existence, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be able to access that in your imagination. So when I say adventure through time, it's like whenever you tap into a memory or a perceived future, something you want to happen, that's a timeline that you're activating. And then what's going to happen from the linear perspective, because all time is now, the more you remain focused in that timeline that is desired, let's say the timeline where you're a multimillionaire, then you are, from the ego perspective, it's going to look like a chain of events unfolded in the 3D to make like now moment, 1 second from now, 2 seconds from now, 3 seconds from now, because that's how the ego perceives time, right? But to your higher self, the bridge has already been built. The question and the answer are encompassed in each other. So you are adventuring, you're traversing through these different timelines by way of your imagination. And this, in my opinion, the purpose of this 3D matrix and shit is basically so you get to act out in tangible format that which you perceive, what timelines you want to jump into now, okay? So you are adventuring through different areas in time, and it might not look like it, because if you seem like you have a mind loop to your ego, you keep revisiting the past, the same shit keeps happening, it's patterns, yada yada, all that bullshit. What you're really doing is you're summoning up a past memory that you didn't like, and because you're bringing it to you now, and you might consciously be like, oh, I'm over that situation, I don't give a fuck, right? Then you are not even aware that that timeline is going on in the background, because you perceive that you got over it, but you keep bringing it back there, right? So let's say you're in a new relationship, but all your exes cheated, then you're bringing that with you now. So you're like, oh, well, I'm over that person, so why, I don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, that might be true. Consciously, you're over the person, but you weren't over the situation. So now you get into the next relationship, but you're bringing that past timeline to the present, and then now it looks like the same thing is happening again, but it's different moments in time. So if you keep accessing the past, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant for you, you are going to experience similar things in a perceived future, because you are accessing that now, you're bringing it to your awareness. Pleasant for you, you are going to experience similar things in a perceived future, because you are accessing that now, you're bringing it to your awareness now. And what I have noticed happens is that we're always evolving, right? Everyone is always evolving in consciousness. So this is why some might notice that they might be experiencing like a similar loop, but it seems like it's getting progressively better than the previous situation that played out. Let's say someone has, the story that all their bosses are shit at their job. So it might have started out with one really shitty boss, and that was just a random experience, but you chose to interpret it as all bosses are shitty, even though you don't give a fuck about that boss that, was the focal point of that original story. You carried it with you, and now you're like, oh, bosses are shitty. And then the next boss, maybe they're not as shitty, because you've evolved in consciousness. You're like, yeah, like I'm doing my self-concept work, I'm looking at my stories, my inner dialogue, whatever. So maybe it gets better, and then maybe the third boss is even better than that, but there's still a pattern underlying, but it might look like the pattern is slowly fading out. But there's still a pattern underlying, but it might look like the pattern is slowly fading out if you have chosen to do inner work and work on yourself and doing different stories. Okay, so this is why you have situations where if you are even with a partner, and then let's say your last ex was shit, and then the other one got better, and then the next one got a little bit better, but there's still something in there. It's because, yes, they're getting better because you have elevated your consciousness, but there's still that undertone of that previous story, which is why you're traveling through time, but you're always expanding in awareness and consciousness. And this this is why a similar timeline can play out, but it might look slightly different. You might be in a different location. The person might look different, but it's like exactly the way your ex treated you, but they're slightly better in some way because you've elevated. So yes, the circumstances and individuals around you are going to seem to elevate as well because you're always moving, but you still brought that timeline into play in the now moment. So now it's like Play-Doh. You got purple Play-Doh and you got blue Play-Doh, and now they're mixing and molding together. So it's like similar to both, but it's its own entity in and of itself. Okay, and this is why sometimes when individuals are experiencing loops and things like that, it's like, yeah, you've done the work, you've elevated, but then if something similar even pops up, yes, it might look better on paper, but you still have an awareness that that old timeline was active somewhere in you. Okay, so and this is how that works with that. So the next thing what we're going to talk about in regards to adventures through time is I've had this actually surface like recently in my lives and in some comments where I see people will talk about bringing someone back to life. Okay, and I wouldn't say it's like a super common topic, but let's say an example like that, right? Just because it has been brought up. What you're going to do to collapse, say for example, where that person or that pet, you know, passed on, whatever, okay, then you are going to drop it from your awareness, okay, because your only moment is now. You're always evolving. There's a semblance of an awareness of that timeline where that individual or that pet passed away, and then you are remembering it like, oh, well, what about, oh, remember when, okay, and that's fine if memories that you had, but you're not going to say remember when. You're going to say, isn't so and so so amazing, oh, I love them so much, they're my best friend, they're my whatever relation they are to you, okay, or the pet, you know, my dog is so amazing, I love how loyal my dog is, or my cat, or my, I don't know, raccoon, whatever, okay. You're just going to look at it from a different perspective, as though that timeline of those good memories that you have is still active. You're not going to say remember when, okay, even if you're looking at it and you feel like a sense of mourning or loss or whatever, you're going to say it doesn't matter what I'm feeling, look at these amazing experiences that are occurring in my mind with the pet or the person, okay. And the more that you do that from your now moment, you're not even aware of the fact that they might not have a vessel anymore, okay. You're just aware that they are alive in your mind, and that is how to bring a timeline that you want back to the present. You're not going to look at it as the past, you're going to look at it as going on now. And if you want to have an imaginal act of like a future scene that maybe didn't happen in the 3D, but you know, it's happening somewhere if you can imagine it, okay, then you would bring that person or that pet to a different memory that you're creating, only it's a future memory. And then you're going to envision like, and you're not, here's the kicker though, you're not going to envision it like Pet Cemetery, like you know, the dog is rising out of the dirt and shit. Like, here's the kicker though, you're not going to envision it like Pet Cemetery, like you know, the dog is rising out of the dirt and shit. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Because then that would still bring that timeline where the pet passed away into the equation, making it a mix, like I just discussed with the Play-Doh analogy. So what you're going to do is just imagine that your pet is there, okay. You're going to imagine, or if the pet was lost or ran away or something, you know, it could be the same thing. Or if there's a missing person on you know, in your circle, okay, you're not going to imagine, oh, it's so good to see you again. No, because that implies that there was a separation. Thank you, Ashley. So you're going to go in and you're just going to have an imaginal act that is just, what do you want to be doing with them? Or if you're not into imagining, okay, you would summon up a memory that you had, a positive memory, and then you would think the thoughts that are associated with that memory in present tense, okay. Oh, my dog was such a good dog, exactly as if they are in front of you right now. Okay, so that's how to bring a past that you want to happen again into your now moment, which is going to cause it to be in your future moments, okay. So now what we're going to do, hey Icon, what is up? So now we're going to talk about timelines and getting rid of unwanted things, okay? Because there's two different things here. There's wanted past timelines and there's unwanted past timelines. But I'm gonna have a sip. I'm gonna have a drink of water. All right, this is good water. When I get talking, I know before I know it. Hey, handsome Squidward. Hey, dark matter. Yes, it is going to be on YouTube. So let's talk about a timeline where you don't want this situation to have happened, or you don't want that person in your experience, whatever. Okay, so let's say it's someone that you met. Hey, Michelle. I don't know, a coworker. Let's go with that. Okay, you have a coworker that you don't like, and you're remembering all the ways that they were a fucking asshole to you. Okay, cool. So what you're gonna do is, from your now moment, instead of remembering all the ways that they were an asshole, you're gonna be like, there's a few things you could do. Okay, one, you could be like, who? You could like mind fuck yourself with it. You could be like, wait, I don't even know who that is. That person doesn't exist in my reality, right? And you could keep doing that. And then if they come to mind again, or even if it's someone that you have to see, like let's say they are at work, okay, you know, and you're going in, you're like, oh, I have to see them, like you're consciously aware that you had to see them, be like, oh, yep, they're already gone. They already left. Every time that you pass them, you're going to say, bye. You'll be better off wherever the fuck you are. We're far, far away from me, right? You're just going to banish them, okay? So this is what I like to call the booty garbage bucket, okay? Where you're going to, if you're visual, okay, because me, I'll just envision like a garbage can and then I'll picture just whoever it is, the motherfucking, and boom, they're in the garbage, lid closed, just whoever it is, the motherfucking, and boom, they're in the garbage, lid closed, and then they get tossed far, far away, and then soon the garbage can is like floating out of sight, and poof, it disappears, okay? And then if the person comes to my mind again, I'm gonna do the same visual. I'm be like, I don't know, that person doesn't exist in my reality, okay? And I'm just gonna picture that. Bye, goodbye. Where, like, and you don't need to send them anywhere. You don't need to say, I'm gonna send them here, I'm gonna send them there. You don't, whatever. I mean, unless that's something specifically you want to do. But I just picture them, that individual, they're in the garbage. You close the lid, crumple that, throw it away, and you see it getting smaller and smaller, okay? And then if this is someone that still, you know, is mentioned to you, or you still see them, and you did that visual one time, and then you see them, you're just gonna automatically go in booty garbage bucket. Yep, goodbye. In your mind, you know what I mean? And then you're just gonna keep doing that, but you're not going to give them attention. This is what I always say. When someone says, how to you boom in the garbage, okay, yes, exactly, booty garbage bucket, okay? So you're not going to give them attention. So let's say it's someone that is at work and you see them, or it's a neighbor, someone that you're going to see, someone that's maybe in your household, okay? Whatever your situation is someone that you might see again, okay? Just because of proximity. Every time you see them, you're going to engage with them as little as possible, okay? If it's like a work thing and you had to kind of be cordial in a meeting or something, I'm not telling you to go ape shit, like physically on them, just ignore them or whatever. Do the bare minimum, okay, that is required of your interaction with that person. And then you're just gonna, it doesn't matter, bare minimum. If they say something, it doesn't matter, they're already gone. Bye, booty garbage bucket, bye-bye, okay? And you're gonna keep doing that, and you're not going to engage. And whenever they pop up into your mind, you're just gonna say bye, they're gone. And you're not gonna reopen anything that they've said or done, or even if they're mentioned by someone else, or if you see them walking along the street, or if you see them eating crackers and you say, I can't stand the way this motherfucker eats crackers. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna say anything that you like, dislike about them, because you are in total apathy, because they do not exist. So if something does not exist in your reality, how can you fight with it or interact with it? You can't, because it's not fucking there, right? So if someone, I don't know, you're mad at a yacht, okay, but you don't even have a yacht. How does that work? You see, because it's not there. So, you know what I mean? So you're gonna give them as little mental attention, as little physical attention as you can. Boom, booty, garbage bucket, bye-bye, okay? So that's what I recommend for getting rid of people from your reality, because it's your awareness that is causing them to be there. Okay, so the more that you are annoyed or aggravated or irritated by someone, the more they're going to show up that way for you. And it's the same thing. If like, you know, the more you enjoy interacting with someone, or the more you want to interact with someone, let's say there's a neighbor, right? And then you, I don't know, you think they're cool, you want to be friends with them, whatever the case, okay? I don't fucking know, whoever it is, right? And you want them more in your experience. You're gonna be like, oh, that's my best friend right there. Every time you see them in your mind, you're gonna say that's my best friend. Oh man, they just love everything about me. Like, they think I'm dope as shit and cool as fuck. Okay, that's what you're gonna do to draw someone closer. You're going to give them positive attention in your mind, no matter what is showing up in the 3D. And that goes for even if like someone told you they hate you, they never want to see you again. You're gonna be like, oh, they're so in love with me. They're so obsessed with me. They are in love with me. They love everything about me. Like, I'm clearly the best thing that's ever happened to them, okay? And you're going to keep doing that. And what this is doing is opening up that timeline in your mind, one timeline where the annoying coworker, they exist, and then you're opening up the timeline where they don't exist by banishing them into booty garbage bucket. Now, the timeline where you have this person that you really want to be friends with, you want them more in your experience, but they're kind of just like a casual acquaintance now, to open up the timeline where they are like your BFF, you're going to be like, oh yeah, they love everything about me. They're always hanging out with me. We're inseparable. We always chill. Like, they're mad cool, whatever, right? And you're opening up that timeline from your conscious awareness of it now. So, you know, the key thing is that for any manifestation, right? Because y'all come in the chat and you'd be like, oh, but how do I manifest this? How do I manifest that? And it's like, it's the same thing for everything that you want to manifest. If you want it, think favorably about it. If you don't want it, don't think of it at all. Banish it in booty garbage bucket, okay? So that's something that I want to touch on with different timelines, because all of these timelines exist and you're adventuring through them by your awareness, and it's just going to see that you are being moved to this timeline. Because remember, the timeline rests in suspended animation until you illuminate it with your God spotlight, and then you are now activating it. It's like turning on a light switch, and now you're like, oh, okay, I see that. But the timeline is not activating itself. Your awareness on that timeline is activating it, and it's going to seem like you are moved to go to that timeline. Like, it's like almost like it's, you light it up and a magnet turns on within that timeline and the parameters of it, and then you, because you're focused on it, you're magnetized to it, and it's just going to seem like you're pulled there. Okay, so that's what I got for that. I don't know how long I was talking about. I need some more water because I talk fast. I mean, I've been told I talk fast, and when I like see the videos, like all my videos on TikTok, I always put on 2x speed because I can't, like, and when I see these videos that I post on YouTube of the live streams and it's not on 2x speed because the videos are super long to even go in and do anything with them, I'm like, oh my God, why am I talking so slow? But I don't think I'm really talking slow. I think that's my perception because I like shit fast. So, and speaking of fast, hold on. Speaking of fast, when we're talking about timelines and time and adventure through time, right? There is no fast or slow to the ethers because all time is now. So how could there be a fast or slow if the thing is already done, right? It's only your ego perception that is labeling things as fast or slow. Or why is this taking so long? Oh, I manifested this in 3 days, but this one took 3 weeks, or whatever egoistic monkey mind shit, you know, is going on, okay? It's the ego that's keeping count. It's the ego that's taking score. That is not coming from your higher self. If you are looking at time, here's this. Take this, write this shit down. If you are looking at time, you are stalling the fucking thing because you're looking at the timing, and time does not exist. This is why when you are not thinking about the desire, a lot of times, it seems like it just drew you to it super fast because there's no resistance. There's no, version of you that's looking at the timing of how long it took or how long it's been or when is it going to happen. It's just the version of you who's just completely at peace. Therefore, there is no block to you getting to that timeline, okay? And so here's something else that I wanted to discuss, right? When you are focused on a timeline, okay, in your mind, and you're just like, cool, you're like, whatever, you know, that's my next stop, right? You typed in the GPS. You really don't need to do shit else, okay, aside from just not think about it. But because you have set the end goal, the destination into the GPS, you're like, yeah, that's what it is. Me and SP are married. Okay, you and SP are married. Cool. So now, as long as you don't take your focus off of that timeline by contradicting it or looking at time, how long is this going to take or whatever, that's it. Movement, it happens. It's already happening, right? And sometimes when individuals are traversing the bridge of incidents, right, and it's different for everyone. Not everyone has a bridge of incidents. So, you know, it is possible to say I'm happily married to SP and then they fucking show up within an hour, like, to marry you. It's quite possible, okay? But if you are having an awareness, right, you're just like, okay, you set the intention once and you're like, yeah, I'm happily married to SP, whatever, then you might start seeing and being more aware of weddings or happy couples, or if you have a particular you know, type of wedding that you want to have, you might start seeing that all over the place, right? Because the timeline is magnetizing you towards it. And so it's opening up doors in your mind to see the evidence of the wish fulfilled. And these doors were closed before you made the declaration of what the fuck you want. Whew. Boom. That shit was fucking lit. I don't know what I just said. If you ask me right now, what did I just say? I have no idea. So I'm glad this is going on YouTube, but whatever. Okay. So the GPS, the end goal, marriage, right? It's just there. It's not doing anything. And throughout your time in 3D, it might look to your ego because now you've placed that in your awareness. You're on like high alert for it, okay? Because if you don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to see evidence of it because those doorways of your mind are closed. So I'm going to give you an example, okay? And there was this time that I was like at a restaurant with, I don't even know who, it doesn't even matter, right? And like the owner came up and was talking like to us at the table and shit and, you know, having a nice conversation. I'm thinking, wow, this is a pleasant person, you know, whatever. And then I wasn't thinking anything. I was just like, oh, this person is pleasant. That's all I was aware of, okay? So then who I'm with after that turns to me, is like, yo, did you see that guy's face? And I'm like, what guy? Because I don't fucking know, right? I ain't paying attention like that. He's like, the guy that just came over. And I'm like, oh, what about him? And then the person I was with is like, yo, his face, whatever, something about his face. There was something going on with it that was very noticeable, okay? And I was like, there was, and this individual that I was with was like, you didn't see that? It was all over his face. And I was like, no, because I wasn't aware. So the doors in my mind were not aware of anything being wrong with this person. They were only open to this person is having a pleasant conversation. So I could not see a flaw in that individual the way that the individual I was with saw a flaw in that person, because my awareness, like, and whatever, how fucking cringe it sounds, but I don't expect the worst from anyone. I'm just like, I don't give a shit, or we gonna be cool. Like, I don't expect bad, like, I don't, okay? And I've never really expected bad things from people. Either I'm neutral, I don't give a shit, or I'm just like, oh yeah, they cool, like, right? Because if I don't think you're cool, I ain't even gonna be around you, and you ain't even gonna be around me, because we're not gonna vibe, because I'm not even gonna be aware that like some shithead person is near me, right? So I was like, isn't that interesting? So who I was with was like noticing the flaws of that person, right? Because that's what they were tuned into. So me and this person both were having a conversation with one individual. I saw something pleasant, the other person did not, okay? Because of our focus. And that is to kind of give you a real time adventure through time example. And with that example is the doorways in my mind were not open to perceive a flaw in that person because I wasn't going and expecting it, right? That wasn't my end goal, okay? Whereas who I was with saw the flaw in that person as they perceived it, because maybe they went in, and I don't know, and I don't give a shit what their intention was when they were walking in, to look for flaws and things, okay? So this is the same way that the doors in your mind open once you set the trajectory on the GPS as to where you want to go, okay? So if you are saying I'm happily married to SP, now doors in your mind are opening up to love and weddings, right? And that's why sometimes it can look like there's birds before land or bridge of incense or whatever. But, you know, birds before land and bridge of incense, I kind of think are two different things. So I'll expound on that in a moment. But basically, this is where, you know, individuals tend to get tripped up now, and they don't a lot of times know why they get tripped up on it, okay? So happily married to SP, cool, no motherfucking problem. And then your awareness is open to love and weddings, blah, 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 right? Now, someone might see that, yeah, I set an intention, I'm marrying SP, and then I started getting wedding dresses on my TikTok feed. Okay, cool. Okay, so now where's your focus? It's on the wedding dresses on TikTok, and it's not about the actual end goal, right? So that can be a little, you know, interesting to navigate because you're getting so excited over the sign, but unless you have the thing, you don't have the thing in the 3D. Like, you have the thing in your mind, but now you've just switched the focus and you've illuminated the timeline where now you're looking for more signs of fucking wedding dresses when that's not really what you want. I mean, I'm sure maybe you want one, or some of you do want a wedding dress married to SP, but, you know, you're not looking for it in that sense of like, oh, this means this, that means that. It's just like, oh yeah, wedding dresses. Of course I'm going to see wedding dresses because I opened up my awareness to the end goal being happily married to SP, so of course, right? But I'm still happily married to SP, so it doesn't matter. And this also works in the opposite way, of course, which is, oh, thank you for the roses. So it works in the opposite way as well, because I'm sure there have been times, let's say in the relationship again, oh, I know this motherfucker up to something, I know he doing this, whatever, do a drive by outside their house, let's make a spoof profile and then message them, whatever, okay, whatever. What is your end goal with that? What is your end goal? I'm gonna go out searching. I'm gonna get some binoculars. I'm gonna get me a magnifying glass. I'm gonna search for shit that are in alignment with the end goal. What's the end goal? Oh, they must be up to something. That's your end goal when you go searching for something like that. So then what are you going to start to see, right? Maybe you make a fake profile, you don't see anything, right? Okay. But you still have it in the awareness that they're up to something. So you're going to see that wherever you go. You're going to start to see probably dating advice. Oh, when someone pulls away, do this. When they don't text you right away, do that. When they put 3 question marks instead of 4, do this. This is what that means. You're going to start seeing evidence of things going to shit. And it's not because things are going to shit, it's because your end goal, SP, is up to something. So then you're going to start to open up doorways in your mind for that specific thing, and it's not something you want, okay? So always make everything mean what you want it to mean, okay? Even if your meemaw, peepaw, neighbor, uncle, auntie, boss, whoever, even if society says, no, that is not what that is, this is how it is, you're not going to abide by that because you still have to accept something as true in order for it to play out in your reality. So to have an adventure through time that is peaceful, perfect, and fucking amazing, exhilarating. I like exhilarating, okay? Because this is what, like, I love exhilarating. I love it. I'm like, woo, woo, and it's like you're surfing on the waves of the fucking Matrix, right? You keep opening up new doorways, and then where the doorways turn into portals, and you slide through the portal, and shit is jiggy prime, okay? Yeah, peepaw. I don't know. I just want to know. I always say meemaw, peepaw, but I don't even know if anyone really uses those terms. I think I've heard them in like movies or like cartoons or something. I don't know if they're really real. But yeah, meemaw, peepaw. Okay. We don't need meemaw and peepaw's stamp of approval. We're just gonna assign everything the meaning that we want. And even if the circumstance to your ego looks bad, or it looks like it's opposite, or it looks like a repeating pattern, that is your duty then and there, because remember, like I said, the adventure through time, only the now moment. Oh, ego try to give you a jump scare. Whoa, you gotta look out for this. And you're like, no, I don't need to look out for anything, because I am everything. And everything is perfect for me right now. Everything is unfolding better than I expect. In that circumstance, I am aware that if I give it attention, I'm just unlocking portals in my mind to magnetize me to that timeline where I do not want to go, okay? And it's going to, hey, le toxique. I always hope I pronounce that right, but I think it's le toxique. What is up, girl? Thank you for joining. So whatever it is that is occurring, okay, you set the destination in the GPS, happily married to SP. That's what it is, right? Just like the GPS. Oh, what if a road is closed over here and you got to make a detour? Are you throwing a fit? I mean, if you are, whatever. I mean, hey, that's a you thing, okay? But let's just say, metaphorically speaking, there's a detour, okay? And then you don't hear from SP for a week. Mind fuck yourself, okay? You mind fuck yourself, and you fucking jizz in your fucking brain, and you impregnate yourself with the fucking story that you want mentally. Okay, so we're happily married. Oh shit, I ain't hear from them in a week. Oh, is that a detour? Is that a roadblock? Does that mean that the SP final destination doesn't exist, right? What does it mean to you? You get to decide, because it's only in the now moment that you decide. So are you deciding from the past, where the last time you didn't... Thank you, self-care warrior. Love my analogies. Yeah, I speak from the heart. Okay, so you you have this destination, okay? Are you going to let something sidetrack you, right? Let's say, okay, you don't hear from the week. Your ego starts talking shit. Oh, remember your ex, when you ain't hear from them, they was out fucking the entire town, whatever the case, right? You're going to be like, I'm not going to activate that timeline again. I see what you're trying to tell me, ego, but now is a brand new moment, and we're not doing this. And if an emotion comes up, if you start to get anxious, if you start to get fearful, if you start to get pissed off, whatever it is, you breathe through it. You be like, that's the old story. I know what timeline I'm aligned with now, and no matter what's happening in the 3D, SP and I are still happily married, and it unfolded perfectly better than I expect. Okay? This way you're implying that it already unfolded perfectly and better than you expect. That's it. It unfolded perfectly better than I expect. This way, you kind of like preemptively say that it was good. It wasn't in a chaotic way. Unless you want it in a chaotic way, then you affirm for that. But, that's not something I personally do. But if y'all want to, then buckle up and get ready, okay? So you're going to assign everything the meaning according to the end goal. SP and I are happily married. Okay, you don't hear from them for a week. Breathe through it. Breathe through it. You gonna call your homie. Can you do a drive-by outside this motherfucker's house? Let's go stalking their Instagram. Now you change your trajectory from SP and I are happily married to the end goal of SP must be doing something no good. And then now that you're going to unlock more of that timeline. You see? So if you would just stick to the timeline and assign everything that meaning instead of reverting back to the old story, which is activating the old timeline of you, the former version that no longer exists because the only moment of existence is the now moment. And that's the only moment of creation. That's where you're always creating from the now. Okay. You're never not creating from the now. Even if you think, oh my God, but this past thing happened. Okay, bitch, it happened. Whoa. It ain't going on now, which means technically it hasn't happened unless you're saying it happened. So that never happened. Gaslight the shit out yourself, homie. That shit works wonders, I'm telling you. Because you're mind fucking yourself. Even if, like, let's say you think that you're like mind fucking someone else, it's really you that's doing it to you. You're mind fucking yourself because you believe that this person is going to act that way. And then because they're you pushed out, they are going to act that way. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a very interesting concept. That's all I'm gonna say is that everything is a mind fuck. Your house is a mind fuck. Your car, your job, everything is a mind fuck for you because you're feeding yourself the story that you want out of that. But all of those things are neutral because they are behaving like the timelines. Because remember, you are the only one in all of existence. So these other motherfuckers, oh, we opened up another topic, but it kind of has something to do with this. So, like I said in the beginning, you're the focal point. You're God, you're the fucking all that is, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. Okay, Mr. Magic Toilet Bowl. I don't give a fuck what you want to call it. All that is. Cool. I'm all that is. Everything around me lies in suspended animation. But I bring it to life with my imagination. Oh, fuck yeah. Bend someone over and spank that from behind. That's all I gotta say, okay? So, the timeline, the doors in your mind, they're in suspended animation until you look at them. You're like, oh, okay, so this is like a circumstance in your 3D, or it's like a person in your 3D, or it's like a place, whatever. It does not exist unless you bring it to mind. How would I know that Oakland exists? I mean, I've heard of it, but like, does it really exist right now that I ain't there? I mean, let's just, no shade to anyone if y'all live in Oakland, but you know what I mean? So how do I know it's even there? How do I know it exists, right? I'm not there. It's not, now it's being activated, but you know what I mean? Like for the purpose of conversation, right? You don't know that the thing exists until you become aware that the thing exists. So this is how individuals also perform for you in your reality, okay? They exist because you are aware that they exist. So how many millions of motherfuckers maybe exist, but I never met them, so I can't say that they exist, right? You see what I'm saying? You ever meet someone and you're like, wow, what was I doing before I even met you? You didn't know that they exist. So there was, do you see what I'm saying? But now you're like, wow, they exist and they're me. Oh shit, that's kind of wild, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so they exist and in suspended animation, just like the different timelines, okay? Because you are the focal point, you are all that is, so only your God's spotlight shining on whatever the fuck it is, the timeline, the person, the situation, whatever. That is what is activating it and bringing it to life, okay? But it is lying there dormant, waiting your instructions. So it's a mind fuck for you in a way because you're like, okay, I see this thing is neutral, but what do I want it to be? So now you're like, you're conjuring that to yourself, okay? So let's say the thing shows up and then it's not like exactly as you wanted. That's when you go in and you really mind fuck yourself and you're like, I illuminated this individual. They're not behaving up to par, but I don't think I care for that very much. So what can I do? Okay, I'm going to change the story. And I change the story by going in my imagination and saying, whatever I want to exist already exists, and then they start to conform because they have no choice but to respond to you, because they're not animated unless you have an awareness on them. So if someone is going to say, okay, but I wasn't thinking about this person doing this, that, or the third, right? Let's say your friend, I don't know, talk shit about you or something, whatever. Let's just use that, okay? Oh, but I wasn't expecting that. And then, you know, the whole time I wasn't aware, they were talking shit and all that. You weren't aware that they were doing that, so it looks like they had their free will because they were doing that. But I guarantee you had a story somewhere in there that all your friends fucking talk shit about you. Maybe you think people are jealous of you, right? And then what happens? You weren't aware that that individual was doing that, but you had it in your awareness. Oh, motherfuckers always talk shit about me because they're so fucking jealous. Then you find out that your best homie is talking shit about you this whole fucking time, but you didn't see it. So it doesn't exist, but it did exist because you have an awareness of a story that would be associated with that individual that you know is in existence, and you call a friend and you illuminated that in them because that is what you expected. Man, I don't even remember what I'm saying in this. This is fucking amazing. I think I'm dropping some bombs, so I'm just saying, I don't know. So you are aware of the person, okay? And especially if it's someone that you have a crush on, or thank you, Amber, or something, right? Maybe you're not thinking about them constantly, but you have an awareness. Someone that you like never likes you back, okay? Yeah, you're not thinking about that person, but your awareness, there's still a story being illuminated somewhere. Even it's like a dim lighting LED, right? Like the fucking mood lighting and shit, because it's a subconscious, it's under, so it's not a super bright spotlight, but it is a spotlight nevertheless, and it's going on the undercurrents. This is why sometimes subconscious beliefs take a little bit of time in the 3D to play out, and this is just something that I have personally studied, okay? If it's written anywhere or if other people speak about it, I do not know, but this is from my perspective of that, okay? So everyone is getting illuminated, right? Even if you're not thinking actively of them, it's like they're still in your awareness, and there's some illumination about that individual because you know of them, and maybe you have a crush on them and you want to be with them. You're not always thinking about them, but you're like, oh, okay, yeah, woo, I know what to do. I'm gonna manifest this motherfucker. Fuck yeah. And then you go in, and then you're like, SP's in love with me. SP's obsessed with me. Blah, blah, blah. We're happily married. Okay, cool, right? So the SP, because that's your big spotlight, the conscious mind. It's like, woo, hello. It's like illuminating. That's all you're like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? You get married to SP. But there was a belief that everyone cheats in a relationship, and it wasn't as bright as you shining your light on SP, saying SP's in love with me, SP's obsessed with me, blah blah blah. It was a light nevertheless, so it was illuminating, but it was a dimmer light, and that's the subconscious, right? You're still, because it's all coming from you do not shut off, whether you're fucking sleeping, shitting, fucking eating. You don't shut off because your consciousness is always turned on. You feel me? So you have this dim light of the subconscious, and it's still illuminating, right? And this is why sometimes motherfuckers call the subconscious a shadow, or at least I think they do, but don't quote me on that. Or they say the shadow aspect, because it's like it's there, but it's not in your fucking face, okay? So you do everything, you and SP are happily married, but you have an underlying belief, a little night light turned on. Oh, relationships don't work out, motherfuckers always cheat, blah, blah, blah. So then what happens, right? You're still aware because that story is still illuminated in you, right? Or maybe you have like a little nudge, right? You're like, but yeah, the ex cheated, but I don't know, this person is different, but you didn't turn out that light completely. So then what happens? You and SP get married, whatever, and then maybe they don't necessarily cheat, but maybe you start to see things that you don't like. Why? You say, but I wasn't consciously focused on that. I said they're faithful to me. But bitch, you didn't fucking address the subconscious little mini spotlight. And that is why, to get back to my original point, what I personally have noticed is that you can manifest whatever you want, but if there is a subconscious thing under there, it's still being illuminated on that topic. And because the light is dim, it might not surface right away as a conscious manifestation. And this, in my opinion, is why motherfuckers run to the fucking forums and the YouTube and the TikTok to talk about manifestation, because they can manifest whatever they want consciously. Yeah, I got this shit, right? But then the undertone is like, whoa. But the undertone doesn't really fucking display itself immediately. It can't, because it's not as bright as the conscious light. Okay, you got a spotlight and you got a fucking LED dimmer, like, I don't know, fucking red light bulbs like you smash and everything. Okay, so which one are you gonna notice first? It's gonna be the spotlight, conscious mind. Woo, I got this story, I'm illuminating. Boom, yeah, manifested this motherfucker in 2 days. Fuck yeah. 2 weeks later, what? Oh, the subconscious is like, and you're like, wait, where did that come from? Because you're not consciously aware of it, because you're focused on shit that's going on in front of you in the fucking spotlight. You didn't check to see if everything else was shut off. Okay, so that's why they tend to surface after the fact, or why someone can manifest the thing but they can't keep it, because that there's still an activation of light of your awareness on maybe something about that topic or that person or money or whatever the case. There's still an activated awareness. It's just not as bright as what you're consciously focused on, but it's still illuminating it nevertheless. But it can seem like it, you know, it crept up out of nowhere, but it was on the whole time. It just took longer to surface because you were focused on consciously what you were doing. Okay, so that's what I got for that. I don't even know where this topic went. I have me a drink over here. It's a coffee something. I don't know. This is the first time drinking it, but I mean, it tastes damn good, so we're going to continue. So I don't know how long I was talking. I'm like anticipating to see the puzzle piece. But like, now that I'm anticipating to see the puzzle piece, I think it's probably not going to arrive. The times I'm not anticipating the puzzle piece, that's when I'm just like, oh shit, I was talking for an hour. And the puzzle piece, as some of you know, if you do lives, is where you've been talking for an hour and they make sure that you slide the puzzle into the piece or some shit for, I don't know what reason, to make sure you're not a robot, but yet it's a robot trying to confirm you're not a robot, which is like diabolical. Like, what the fuck? So I hope that explains the concepts of time and how you are the only one and everything and everyone around you is just doing TikTok chores. Everyone and everything around you is just, you know, agreeing to what you said. It's like a genie, like yes master. Okay, and that's just how it works. It works that way for everyone. No one in your reality has free will. No thing in your reality has free will. But it can seem sometimes like individuals have free will, or you're like, how did that circumstance pop up? I didn't consciously think about it. But yet when you like backtrack a little bit and then you see, oh, you had a belief, right, that there was something similar to what happened, but you weren't consciously aware of the belief, and it surfaced. Okay, so that's like really, you know, like kind of what I call jump scares, because it's like, whoa, you weren't consciously thinking of it, so the subconscious, like, I always be like, whoo, like, let's go, and you're like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And it's because you're illuminating mostly, you know, consciously with your spotlight, because you're like, ooh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna visualize, I'm gonna do this, but the subconscious is still the undertone. So how I recommend, you know, getting rid of subconscious beliefs, because if there were no subconscious beliefs, like manifestation with everything that you did would likely be very, very instant. So how to get rid of subconscious beliefs? Number one, you don't need to do this, but if you have noticed a pattern, then you're going to say, what does that story, whatever the pattern is, what does that say about me? Like, what would I have to assume about myself or about that situation or about that topic that it gravitated towards me? And then that's where I find that robotic affirmations work, really fast, especially with like subconscious beliefs, because you're just boom, 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 boom. And you can also make the affirmation sleep tapes, as I recommend. Because then it's like straight shot into your subconscious as you're sleeping, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, it doesn't matter. So that's what I recommend to get rid of subconscious beliefs, to make a sleep tape. Listen to it while you're sleeping, obviously, and put whatever it is you want in there to get rid of the subconscious belief, which would just be an affirmation that is stating the opposite. And then throughout the day, you would make it your mantra to, like, let's say, you always thought money doesn't grow on trees or some shit, right? So what is the opposite of that, right? The subconscious belief is that money is hard to come by. So what you're going to say, I'm a magnet for money. I am money. Money loves me. Money is so easy to come into my experience. I always have more than enough. I'm so fucking wealthy, right? That's how you would override it. But it really... Oh, you manifested a new job this week without having to apply or do an interview? Hell yeah, I love it. That's amazing. Congrats. Woohoo. So that's what I would recommend with subconscious beliefs. And, you know, there was this thing that I saw on here, and I saw it a while ago, so I don't even remember what video it was. I think I might have made a video about it, but I'm not sure. But basically, there was this dude, and he was talking about, I don't know, like why things don't materialize, like just in front of your face, right? And this was his perception, okay? It's a really good video. Maybe some of you have seen it, but this is his perception of it. He was like, you know, let's say if manifestation is instant, then how come there's not fucking flying cows and shit? You know what I mean? Okay, so if manifestation is instant, the thing already exists, right? But we're living in this simulation that is designed to make us believe and perceive that it is real, then the instant manifestation would go against what the rules of the matrix teach, right? So there are some individuals who can make things appear out of nowhere, okay? But not a lot of motherfuckers are believing that, okay? So that would be their subconscious belief. Even if they're a great manifestor and they, you know, they've worked on themselves and they're like a conscious creator, they're a master manifestor, but there's a subconscious belief, oh, things can't appear out of nowhere, then that's what's going to happen, okay? So in this video, the guy was saying, he was like, you know, majority of individuals are like, okay, yeah, we're living in this thing where we're taught that things take time. You have to earn money. You have to, you know, take your time to get to know some, whatever, right? Things are typically taught here to be slow, okay? So that's a belief for a lot of individuals. You have to work hard for it. You have to strive for it. If at first you don't succeed, try again, okay? So if you were to have an instantaneous manifestation, okay, would you even be open to it? You, like I said about the different doorways of the mind, you might have the manifestation right now, but because you believe that things can't manifest instantly, you're not seeing it. Therefore, it doesn't exist in your reality, right? And that is why a lot of times, this is fucking how many times I say time. This is why a lot of times, like, you know, someone can say, oh, well, if creation is finished, how come this isn't happening, that isn't happening? Because most individuals do not believe that there's going to be a flying elephant playing the fucking accordion that's going to pass by the fucking door at 4 a.m. I mean, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just a societal construct of this matrix that is saying that there is time and there are laws and there are rules and there are social etiquette things. So that's just taught. You're ingrained with that. Okay, now I'm not saying that those things can't be crossed through, right? Because you're crossing through different, you know, layers of consciousness. They can, which is why someone with a very, very heightened, you know, consciousness, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, limiting beliefs, they don't bother me. They are calibrated to instant manifestation, even of big things. So maybe that person who is so highly attuned to their own alignment and consciousness, maybe they want to see that cow fly above their fucking rooftop at 4 a.m. playing the accordion just for them, and it fucking happens because they don't have a belief that's saying no, this cannot happen, right? So in that video, the guy was saying that the reason why sometimes even, you know, small manifestations don't manifest like, oh, he said, here, I'm holding out my hand, I want to see an apple. So I saw an apple, but it didn't appear instantaneously because the Matrix is trying to make you think like, well, you have to work for it. It has to happen in a logical sequence of events, because that's another program that we have where the ego is trained to abide by logic. So logically, where the apple just fell into your hand, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like logically, yes, I guess it can fall from a tree directly into your palm, but it wouldn't be logical in terms of manifestation because the apple in your hands is already there. So he said that he was walking through the forest and he imagined this thing with the apple, and then I don't know, a few minutes later, he just walked into some random bar and they were like, they had green apples, and like, I don't remember exactly how it went, but they basically like handed him an apple and he was holding the apple in his hand like a few minutes later. So it wasn't instantaneous as what he was saying in the video, is because it has to look like it happened naturally for your ego. Okay, so now if someone is in this state of awareness where they're bypassing the ego, maybe not with everything, flying elephant, but if they're just saying, you know what, I just want this to happen instantaneously in front of my face, and then it fucking happens, they're open to that and they don't believe that it cannot happen. Okay, so it really depends on where, you know, the individual is at. Oh, here comes the puzzle piece. See, I said it was gonna pop up when I wasn't thinking about it, and I was not thinking about it, and here we fucking go. Oh, I didn't think I did it right. Oh my god, fuck you mean drag the puzzle piece? Yes, thank you. That's like such a waste of time. I don't even know why they do that, but so to the ego, and for everything that we've been trained, we perceive, or the ego at least wants to perceive it as a logical sequence of events in linear time had to play out in order for that apple to be in your hand. But if you bypass that, right, because that is a subconscious belief, even though it's a societal construct for most individuals, it's still a belief that you have to abide by. So you're just like, oh, okay, well, the apple, you know, maybe it'll appear in an hour when I go to the grocery store, right? You're trying to put some sort of logic to it, and there's no logic involved, because manifestation and logic do not coincide together. They are two different things. They are actually, in my opinion, the antithesis of each other. Okay? So if you want something to happen instantaneously, right? Because a lot of motherfuckers, right, are just like, I want my shit now. What the fuck? It's taking so long. If you want it to appear instantaneously, I'm gonna ask you two things, okay? Do you have a belief as to why that thing has not materialized out of thin air in front of you? Is there a belief contradicting that? Okay, what is that belief? Affirm the opposite, override. Cool, no problem. Number two, you say you want the thing instantaneously right now. But if it was handed to you, just like the apple was handed to that dude in the fucking store, if it was just handed to you, here you go, what would your first instinctual reaction be? Think about that. Like, really. Okay, the thing, whatever it is, bro, it could be a fucking house. I don't give a fuck, okay? A house is just handed to you. Here you go. And you're like, what? Are you going to start to doubt? Are you going to think, is this too good to be true? Are you going to be like, how did that happen? Or you be like, oh shit. A gift from me, because you're the one that created the house materializing out of nowhere, to me. Damn, I'm the pimp, bro. Oh my, I'm so fucking happy that I manifested this house. Yeah, I did that, bitch. This is my house. You ready to claim it in the 3D? Or you gonna start to go back into the fucking ego and be like, oh no, now I have a whole house. Oh my god, what are the property taxes? Oh my god, I have to buy furniture. Oh my god, like I have to get it inspected. Like, Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I ask you, okay? If you want your thing to happen right now, what is the belief that's blocking it from materializing out of thin air? And are you ready to receive it in the 3D? Because you already have it in your mind, but are you ready to receive it in the 3D? Because, I mean, there have been some instances, and like I've been manifesting for a while, but then when something happens in the 3D that I know I manifested consciously, and I'm like, oh shit. And not that it's like a fearful oh shit, but it's like, whoa, like you hold a lot of fucking power. Okay, so then you have to see if you're ready to have that experience in the 3D. So if you went right to fear and worry, you're still in some old timeline that we talked about that is still active in you. If you're like, oh shit, like, wow, this is fucking amazing, I did this, then yeah. Then you're in the present moment and you're thankful for the gift that you gave to yourself. Or you're like, oh no, I got this house, now I gotta figure this out, I gotta figure that out. You're in a future timeline, which you're bringing to your now moment. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you are present and you're just like, yo, whatever the fuck is happening, I'm good right here, right now, bitch. Magic fucking happens. It'll look like magic to someone who don't know about any of this shit. But I can tell you, things can appear instantaneously, but you have to have the awareness, you have to have those doors in your mind open to be able to see them. Like I discussed earlier, this is going to go on YouTube, so this is like kind of a long chat that is just, it's interwoven with a whole bunch of shit that winds back to itself, like the fucking serpent eating its own tail. So this is what timeline are you in? Okay, you're just gifted the house that you manifested, right? Because from your previous now moments, so let's say a week, all of your now moments were focused on the future timeline. I have this house, I have this house is mine, this house is mine. Boom, you're gifted the house out of nowhere. You didn't lift a finger, you didn't do jack shit, you didn't spend a dime. It's just handed to you, okay? That's your now moment. Now you're like, woo, yeah, okay, this is good, right? You're in the now moment of the house and you're living it. So now what is your job? To conjure the next positive now moment, right? Not a negative now moment, but you're like, oh, thank you, I'm enjoying this house. Okay, oh, I'm so excited, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I can't wait to, fucking paint or whatever the fuck you're doing, right? You're just, yes, you're technically kind of like, in the future tense, but it's a future tense that you want and you're bringing it to you now. So when you do receive a desire that you've been, thinking about for a while and you receive it, then okay, what is next that is going to be positive for you? Then you focus on that, and that's how it's going to look like a bridge of events happen in linear time. But they really didn't happen in linear time. It happened in your mind, and you were fucking magnetized to traverse that bridge. Okay, so if you are going to be thinking, when you're fully present, you're fully present. You don't need to do a damn thing. Okay, like right now I'm fully present in this fucking TikTok video. I ain't thinking about nothing really. But let's say if I'm in the shower and my mind is just wherever the fuck, right? Okay, am I going to think about something that I want to happen in the future that's good? Or am I going to be thinking about the past that I don't like, or I should have, could have, would have? Am I going to be thinking about a future that I'm fearful of? No, because I know that the only moment of creation is now. So now is the only power. Now is the only time. So I'm like, what am I utilizing my time for? Okay, do I want to have a pleasant experience in a perceived future moment that only exists now anyway, and keep maneuvering through now moments in the most pleasant way possible because I got my mind right? Yeah, I'm gonna fucking do that. Now, you don't need to, Rachel, the YouTube is the same as this account. It's spelled the exact same way, 0QULUS. So you want to be mindful of what you're doing with your time, okay? So this is something that I also say to individuals, right? You could be fucking bed rotting, okay? You could be bed rotting and just have Netflix on, scrolling TikTok on the side, fucking open bag of chips. But if you are relaxed and you are fully present in the moment and you enjoy glancing up at Netflix, scrolling through TikTok, having some snacks, whatever, who cares? Who cares? Someone is just, that's not a good use of your time, but you're having fun. You're not worried about anything. You're just enjoying the moment. So that's where I'm like, motherfuckers are like, oh, but you shouldn't do that. Like, no, you don't need to concentrate on your desire 24/7. You could relax and do something else, and that's still doing something constructive with your time, because you're enjoying being in the now moment and you're not looking at the past or the future. You're just there. You're enjoying yourself. And that's when a lot of times motherfuckers say that they get the thing in the 3D when they're not even thinking about it, when they're doing something else. Thank you for the heart. Why? Because they're present. And like I said in one of my other lives, but it kind of ties into this too. When you are present, you essentially collapsed all time because you're present. There's now. You're not looking at the past. You're not looking at the future. You're just here now. You're present. You're focused on whatever it is you're doing. So that is the God state. If you're jerking off and you're just fully in the moment, that's the God state. That is the God state. Because you're just enjoying yourself, right? You're just being. So you could be doing, you could be taking a shit. I don't care what it is that you're doing. You should care what you're doing to an extent. I mean, you know what I mean? Take care of yourself and shit. Thank you for the heart. But you don't want to be thinking negatively about the past or the future. You're enjoying yourself in the now moment. Like, you don't have to sit in lotus position and meditate in a closet and be like, oh, I'm being productive with my now moment. You don't have to do that. Being productive is just you enjoying yourself. So me, you know what's happening right now is I'm fucking talking on this live. Creation is finished, right? I'm enjoying myself. So my energy of enjoying myself in the now moment, not looking at the past, not looking at the future, what is that doing? That's collapsing time around me. Do you see what I'm saying? Am I doing anything special? Am I fucking doing a guided meditation, taking 3 deep breaths and then go chant in the tiki room? No. I mean, I could if listen, if it serves you and you enjoy doing it, hey, by all means, okay? But you don't need to do that. So when someone says that you're misusing your time or you're lazy or whatever, like, as long as you're not thinking against the shit, as long as you're just enjoying yourself, then you're collapsing time in the God state. Hey, if you love to chant, you'd love to chant. I mean, whatever works for you. Like, the thing is, like, chanting or affirmations or whatever, or visualization, if you enjoy it, do it, okay? But don't force yourself to do something just because, you know, this motherfucker around the corner said it worked for them. They're not you. Only you are you. Techniques don't do shit. Declare it as once. This is done. Okay. If you're pissed off, it doesn't mean the manifestation is not there. If you're happy, it doesn't mean the manifestation is not there. You're being, and if you're focused on things that you want, then you're moving more to that timeline of things that you want. And it's the same thing whenever anyone asks, like, can I manifest multiple things at once? What is the answer? You're God. You do what the fuck you want, right? So if you are manifesting like a total life glow up or some shit, right? I would suggest writing out in notes on your phone or on paper or in Microsoft Word, I don't give a fuck where you write it. Write down, what does this new life look like? If you're manifesting multiple things, right? You want a total life makeover, okay, for the better. Thank you for the rose. Then what you're going to do, what I would recommend is write down, get very specific. What does your new life look like? Okay? You already wrote it down. You have an idea. It's stored in your subconscious database. You don't need to keep affirming, I live in a multi-million-dollar home. I am married to my whoever the fuck it is. I drive this car. I have this boat. I have this jet. You don't have, no. I mean, if you want to record that on a sleep tape and listen to it, hey, that's fine. But you don't need to memorize all that shit. You can say, You're going to write it down. If you want to manifest multiple things, this is what I personally recommend. You're going to write it down, all of the specifications that you want. Where are you living? What are you doing? Okay, if you're in a relationship, what does that relationship look like? If you're living in a palace, what does that look like to you, right? What type of car are you driving? Okay, do you have a job? Are you just independently wealthy? Do you own a business? Right, everything. You write that fucking shit down. What's your dream body look like? How's your dream headspace feel? Right? How are you feeling in your physical body? Whatever it is, okay? So you write all that down in detail, and then if you want to record it on, you know, the Parrot app and listen to it as you sleep or throughout the day, okay, go ahead. But you don't need to remember the whole thing because it's already stored, right? It's already, like, your subconscious mind knows it, right? Because that's what you are saying that you want. So the subconscious stores shit, so that's just in the storage bank. Then to summon that list forward, you're going to say, all my dreams came true so perfectly, better than I expected. Everything on my list came true in such great detail. Is done now, is done perfectly, is done peacefully, is done better than I expect. You don't have to say a million affirmations. I have a dog, I have an SP, I have this job. Because, come on, bro. That's just the ego looking for more work. And you don't want to do that because you're God and God doesn't work. God is in existence and is money. So that sorts itself out, doesn't it? If you're manifesting multiple things, okay? Because then that timeline where all of those things are true, it's already in existence, right? Because you could access it in your mind. You just say, yeah, I'm in that timeline now. I'm in that timeline now. I'm in that timeline now. 3D looks like a hot dumpster fire. Then don't matter, okay? Dumpster fire don't fucking matter. You don't pay attention to it. You just, oh, okay. Yep, that's cool story, bro. And you fucking just, you know, you turn your attention elsewhere. Either that or you say the most favorable thing that can happen. Oh, I'm so happy I'll never have to go through that again. I'm so happy that person is out of my life. I'm so happy that this experience is far, far away from me. You know, you're not going to sit and wallow in it, because then that's to activate that timeline again. And even if the 3D circumstance looks like it's present in your awareness now, okay, the 3D is there. Like, we're just, okay, but like I said, when I was talking in the beginning, like that guy that was talking to me and this person at the table, and then this person noticed something bad about them, but I noticed something good about them. The 3D, no matter what it looks like, it's still your perception. So you can look at the circumstances and be like, hey, this is amazing, no matter what it is. And you have the choice in every moment to do that. You ever meet someone and like they have some shit that you are actively manifesting, but they already have that thing, right? Maybe not exactly, right? But let's say this person is in their dream career, okay? And it's a career, it's a field that you wanted to get into, and you know this person, they're already in it, and you're like, man, they don't even appreciate like that they're in their field, right? And then what the person is going to start to show up for you, like that they're not appreciative of being in that field, but you're kind of envious, but you're kind of saying that they have something that you don't, right? So instead of saying that and be like, man, they don't even appreciate it, they have that, like, what the fuck, you know, you're calling that energy to you essentially from a place of lack, saying, number one, that someone else has something that you want, okay? And then you're saying, oh, but they don't appreciate that, blah, 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 blah. It's you that you're not appreciating where you're at, so you're summoning something else to be unappreciative of, or something to be envious of, right? Where instead of you meet someone and they just so happen to be in that career field, right? If you were looking at it from a positive way, wow, I met this person because I'm manifesting that exact job title, and I meet them. Oh man, I bet they have a hookup for me so I could get that job too at another location or whatever. You're thinking from it differently, okay? And then what happens in that individual, they start to transform into the motherfucker that hooked you up with your dream job, okay? So there's, you know, if you see someone that has what you want, you can look at it from a place of, you don't have it, lack, blah, 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 want, or you can look at it, wow, they have that, and they surface in my experience, which means I have that too. There you go. Yes, you keep selecting new timelines because in every now moment you have the choice of which timeline you're activating, and you're just activating it based off of what thoughts you're thinking. Ooh, thank you for the rose. So that's how time works, okay? And that's how the reflections of everyone and everything works. It's like they're lying in suspended animation. So if the 3D looks like hot, moldy shit on a hot summer day in the fucking desert, are you gonna, what are you gonna do? You gonna step in the shit? You gonna roll around in it? Or are you just gonna step over it? Okay, that happened. Moving on. There's always a way that you can, perceive it, okay? And here's the thing, like this might sound a little woo-woo, or maybe it won't, because, I mean, y'all already know what type of content I talk about. I'm going to give you an example of seeing into other timelines, because sometimes this happens, and again, this is my perception, this is my perspective, but it's what I've personally experienced with my own journey in elevating my consciousness, because I am into instant manifestations, okay? I like shit to appear out of nowhere, like, whoa, where did that come from? My mind, bitch. So there was this one time that this is like you start seeing into other time, and I mean visually, okay? I don't mean just in your imagination. I mean you're gonna start to see things in your 3D that are in other timelines, and you're perceiving it now because that timeline is happening now. Oh my God, I'm getting chills. I'm getting excited talking about this shit. Why is everyone laughing in the chat? I have no idea what's going on. I hope it's something good. I know it is, because it's my chat. So, I mean, I know y'all are having fucking fun up in this live. But anyway, so there was this time, this is a few years ago, and I was in the car with two of my friends, and they were in the front seat and I was in the back, okay? And I was sitting like in the middle of the back seat, so I had like a direct view of like the windshield, whatever. And we were driving to this place, okay? And the road was dark. It was like winter time, so it gets dark fucking early. At least in the fucking United States, okay? I don't know if you're in Australia, it's like the opposite. So in the summer it get dark early, or is it the opposite? Oh man, see, that's not my thing. My thing is things that are non-corporal. So I don't know, but whatever. In the United States, there is, the daylight savings time. So it was fairly early, but it was dark out. There you go. I don't know how it is for, the southern hemisphere. But anyway, thank you for the rose. So I was facing the windshield, right? Because I'm talking to my friends, and all of a sudden I see this like shadow. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. You start seeing shit. And I saw this like shadow, and it was like right in front of the car, and I was like, what is that? And then like my friend who was driving is like, what is what? And then my other friend in the front seat was like, what? And like I looked again, and there was like nothing there at all, right? It was like a shadow, but it was like dead set in front of the windshield, like, whatever. And I was like, I saw something. And then they're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, there was a deer. And then they were like, there was no deer. And both of them said that. And I'm like, okay, there's one of me, there's two of them. They were both looking forward to at the same time I was, whatever. And they're my friends. They're not going to fuck with me like that. So I was like, okay, but I saw something, whatever. We dropped the topic. We fucking did what we did. And then, basically, we were leaving from that place, okay, and it was dark out, okay? I do want to say it was dark out. I don't know if that really has significance of seeing the thing, because I'm sure it could be seen if it was light, but it was dark, and I still saw the shadow, like, in the headlights of the car. And then we're driving back on the same road, only obviously opposite direction. And out of nowhere, I'm not paying attention to whatever. I don't know what the fuck. I was probably on my phone or doing some shit, right? And so my friend like just stops the car, okay? And it was like a quiet road. It was like, there's trees around, whatever, okay? And so my friend stops the car, and I'm like, and I look like, what happened? And then I shit you fucking not. There was a fucking deer in headlights Man, that fucking term, I seen that shit in real life. I'm sure a lot of you have too. But that was like the first time I fucking saw it, okay? Like, cause you know where I grew up, there weren't no deer just crossing the road and shit, okay? So I was like, well, and the deer was just, it was like, it was exactly where that shadow was that I saw, like maybe like 2 or 3 hours earlier when we were driving to the place. And I said, what is that? It was exactly where it was, and it was stopped. And my friend stopped the car, like not even really close to the deer, but the deer is maybe like 10 feet away. Like it wasn't, anything crazy. And so the deer is just like, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, what the fuck? Didn't I say that when we were driving to the place that there was a deer in the road? And my friends were like, yo, that is fucking weird. Because they both, the first time that happened, both of them claimed that there was no deer, but I swear I saw it, and it was like a shadow. It was like it didn't look like a deer though, but I just, like, my mind just said it was a deer. Because it was like a knowing, because I literally fucking saw the shadow of the other timeline, which was already happening then because all time is now, and I saw it, but it was like a shadowy figure. It was like, I don't know, it wasn't like matte, but it was really, it wasn't opaque, okay? It wasn't opaque, but it wasn't transparent. It looked like a black shadow, and like the edges were like it, and it faded out, and it looked kind of just like a blob, but my mind correlated deer, and it was in the exact spot, okay? But I saw it. It was like a shadow. And this is what I'm telling you. For me, when I've done a lot of work to up level my consciousness, like and I enjoy it, so I don't really consider it work. It's like a hobby and it's fun for me, but you know what I mean? Like, when you reach a certain point of consciousness, maybe some of you in the chat have, you will start seeing things with your physical eyes in other timelines, okay? Now, did I intentionally try to see that? No, but it just fucking happened. And I've had some other instances of that happening as well, where I'll see things and I'm like, I wonder what timeline that's from, okay? But it's not scary. I mean, for me, it's not scary. I don't know, maybe for someone else, if they're not open to it, if they just see like a shadow figure, they'd be like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? They might freak the fuck out. But for me, I'm open to it, so I don't give a shit. So if you are open to that, you can possibly, if you have the awareness, like, yeah, I can physically see into that timeline right now, okay? Like, it played out exactly the way it was. So, ooh, that's amazing, Supernova. The visions you've had saved you. Yeah, I mean, like, deer are so, like, I don't know, I see these videos of deer, and they just, I don't know if it's like just the way that they think, like they obviously don't have the same common sense as a human, but like I've seen so many videos in regards to deer. But that is really great that your premonition saved you from like something wild, username, oh, those a lot of numbers. Username, yes, enjoy your sleep. This will be posted on YouTube. They freeze and pet. Yes, because that's what I saw with the actual deer in 3D. Like, it just is like the fucking, like, you saw the fucking face. And I know you know what I'm talking about. If you've had that experience, like the face is like but whatever. I mean, it was a quiet road. Like, there were no other cars, you know what I mean? And my friend was able to see the deer in time, so nothing happened. Because even when I saw the shadow figure, like, I just saw it, like, standing there. It wasn't moving. It wasn't running. It was just, like, there. But yeah, that's what my experience with that was. And now I know what it was. It was like, literally, I saw into that timeline. And then that timeline played out, like, a few hours later. So I saw it, I know it's real. Like, and I know, like, explaining this to someone, they probably like, what fuck you mean? Like, that would sound like some, I don't know, poltergeist shit. But I really saw it. And I, like I said, I've had other, oh my God, there goes a tripod as I take this amazing, this is the first time I'm having this draft latte. So, you can start literally seeing into other timelines. So let's say you're manifesting an SP and all of a sudden you see like a figure next to you. That's the SP in another timeline. You know what I mean? Or if you're manifesting like you want a pet or something and you see like a shadowy figure like run across the floor and it looks like about the size of a dog or a cat or whatever, that can likely be it. Not that I was actively manifesting a deer, but you know what I mean? Like, or if you just see something out of the corner of your eye and it looks like a shadow, you're like, what was that? And then later it's like something is in that exact place later on. Like, let's say you getting your house ready for a fucking party, okay? And all of a sudden you see something like move, and then your fucking friend comes over and they bring like a bunch of balloons and they like it moves up to the ceiling because it has helium in it, and you're like, what the hell was that moving up towards the ceiling? I saw a shadow. And then your friend comes with balloons and they fuck it. You know what I'm saying? That was a weird fucking example. Where do I go? But my mind be all over the place. It's all good. It's all good. So you can see into other timelines. Yeah, there are so many interesting things, and like this is, this is possible for anyone. I'm just sharing my experiences in case anyone who's in this live or who is going to watch this video has had an experience like that. They're like, what the fuck is that shadow figure? That's what it can very well be. You're just like tuning into another timeline, but it's like not like it's there, so you're seeing it, but it's not in the 3D yet, which is like, I mean, I couldn't even begin to explain how that even works, but I know what that is, Hey, Kylie. Thank you for joining, gorgeous. So if anyone is seeing, thank you, Kylie. If anyone is seeing some shit out of the corner of their eye, I'm just like, oh, that's a timeline. There's something going on there, So Ivy, thank you. You enjoyed my videos. This is the first time you've seen me live. Well, welcome to the party. Martina, you had a really vivid dream about your SP and it gave you chills. It could be similar to this. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm all for things where like your body can sense things, right? Just like my two physical eyes literally saw that shadow, your body can sense things too. Like if you get chills out of nowhere, or if you I don't know, if you start getting an excited feeling, or if you have a dream, and obviously, the dream interpretation is whatever you assign to it, but only you would know like what the chills mean for that particular dream. If you're like, whoa, like that really happened. Okay, like chills can be a confirmation of clarity, but it definitely depends on how you look at it. So, but the body is, in my opinion, it's very, very like, it's tapped in as well, but a lot of people aren't perceiving that their body is tapped into that stuff as well. But it is, because it's here, it's part of the matrix, so of course it's tapped in. Oh, you smelled your mom's perfume before she came home? Yep, there you go. I mean, you can have, this is why some people like, if they want to like commune with like a crossed over loved one, and then all of a sudden they like, let's say the person smokes cigars, or if they wore a certain perfume or cologne or whatever, you would smell it and you're like, whoa, like what is happening? That means because you're accessing the timeline where that person is with you. And that's like also to touch on a little bit what I was saying in the beginning about how, if a pet or a person, whatever, crossed over and you don't want that timeline to be true, you would just turn your attention to the timeline where they still exist. And that's a great example. If you're smelling their perfume or their cologne, or if you're, you know what I mean? I don't know, smelling their favorite flower or some shit. You smell your dad's aftershave, you love him, but you hate the smell. Yeah, aftershave is like potent. Like, I don't even, like, what is even the point of that? Doesn't that, like, burn your skin after you put it on? Is that like a fucking toner? Like, you shaving and then your pores are open? What does it aftershave do? I don't even know. I have no idea. But I smell it too. It is super potent. Like, I have to agree. I don't know. They should make nice smelling ones, like more, I don't know, neutral. But I guess to each their own. But yeah, sometimes I'll like I'll smell people, or like I'll hear a voice or something. Like, there have been so many instances of that for me that I'm like, oh, I must be tapped into some timeline, you know, because if everything is going on now and it's only the linear perception that is saying, okay, today is Monday or Tuesday or whatever, right? That's how you're looking at it linearly. But the thing already went on. It's just that you're tuning your focus to that. Like, with the analogy they always say, like, what channel are you fucking watching? You watching Netflix? You watching Hulu? Like, what you got on? Disney Plus and shit? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you tuned into? Then that's what's gonna be broadcast to you. You know what I mean? And was there an event that catapulted your journey into knowing, or a slow realization? I would say I was always into this type of stuff. Maybe not manifestation specifically, but I was always into like mysticism and tarot and psychic arts and things that are intangible. Like, I've always been more fascinated with things that are unseen compared to things that are seen with your 3D eyes. Like, the 3D, I'm like, ugh, it's so fucking boring. I don't give a fuck about phonics. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about science, geography. I mean, there are certain things in there that I'm like, okay, yeah, this is interesting, right? Like, but I mean, I've never been interested in what is taught mainstream. I've always been interested in things that cannot be seen, because I'm like, ooh, I like that. To me, it's just interesting, you know? But I was always into that, and then I thought it was like psychic ability. When I would think about something, then it would happen. And then I started learning about, you know, reality co-creation. I came to reality co-creation from the spiritual community, which I was into, because again, the spiritual community is about things that are like esoteric and metaphysical. They're not like necessarily tangible. And then it just somehow lapped over. I discovered Abraham Hicks a few years ago, and that kind of jump started into like, oh shit, I've been manifesting this whole fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't aware that I was. So now that I'm mindful of it, I can, you know, be more aware of how I'm perceiving things that are going on in 3D. Oh, this is literally your best live yet. Thank you, Adriana. I appreciate you being here. You've always been quirky, mystical, and strange, yet me too, Supernova. I myself am strange and unusual. Fuck yeah. I look like Aaliyah? Oh, thank you. That's a compliment. She's a beautiful woman. Hey, Michelle. What is up, girl? Thank you for joining. But yeah, I don't know, like the manifestation, if you want to think of it, it found me, you know what I mean? Like, it just, and I don't even remember how, honestly. I just started looking at oh, Michelle, I get on here, I mean, time doesn't exist, so I'll be on here whenever I feel like it, you know, whenever the mood strikes. I just get on. Time doesn't exist. Woo! Oh, thank you for the gift, Michelle. Love you. So yeah, I don't know, but like, I have to say, and this is probably what I talk about in a lot of my lives, that the spiritual community does have a lot of limiting beliefs, and you might not necessarily realize it when you're in it, because they talk about divine timing, and they talk about karma, and they talk about twin flame, and you know, all of those are belief systems, okay? If you believe that someone is a twin flame, and then you believe what they say about the twin flame runner-chaser dynamic, or whatever that is, and that's how, thank you, Corey Marie, for the gifts. That's how your love life is going to play out, okay? Like, and even with spirituality, when, you know, oh my God, what is that one that they always say? Love and light, like, motherfucker, Come on, stop with love and light. Just stop it. Like, really? I don't know. I feel like some of it to me sounds phony in the spiritual community. Like, people are just like regurgitating what they've heard. And even the whole premise of spirituality is like, it's not religion, right? Because religion is what someone else has told you happened, okay, or what is right and wrong. Spirituality is something that you experience for yourself, but yet in the spiritual community it's very contradictory, because you have these motherfuckers saying, oh yeah, I'm having my own experience, but that's my twin flame. How many motherfuckers talk about twin flames? Is that really your experience, or did you just get fucking hoodwinked into believing that program? Okay, like let's be for real. Yeah, it does feel fake a lot of times. I mean, like, I'm sure the individuals in there have good intention, not all of them, but like it's like, it's too much. It's like you're supposed to sit there and like, oh, like, fuck that. You're not loving like 24/7. I'm a demon time you need to be. Hell yeah, supernova. I mean, you got to do what's good for you. It's like, you know, the thing with ethics and stuff like that and free will, none of that exists. So if you say you want this, but society is like, oh, well, that's taboo, you shouldn't want that, but you want it, you are the only judge because you are the only thinker. So are you going to think that you're going to cave into a societal program, or are you going to think, well, I like this and I already have it because I can imagine this thing, so I'm gonna just go for it if it works for me and fuck what anyone thinks, you know? Like me, I'm more about like individuality, okay? This is why, like, anything that anyone is telling me that they're manifesting, okay, well, I mean, I'll tell you some tips on how to get there, but I don't give a fuck what you're manifesting. You should give a fuck what you're manifesting, because you're always fucking doing it, but I don't give a shit. I do not care. Oh, but what if someone thinks this? Well, they're only thinking what the fuck you think they are thinking, because they're you pushed out. So if you think that someone is thinking about you poorly or favorably, that's what they're thinking, okay? And you know, I know it can seem like the individual has free will sometimes, but they don't. They don't have free will. Even if it doesn't conform immediately and they're still showing up as a fool in your 3D, that version of them is already there. They're already conformed. So if anyone is dealing with a person, and it doesn't have to be like a love interest, although like SP seems to be like, oh, love interest, I'm gonna smash this homie, you know what I'm saying? But you need to just say, no, this is them. It's the same as any other manifestation. It's the end goal. What is the version of them that you want? What do they look like? How do they act? What are they doing? How are they treating you? Who are they? Okay, so, oh my God, if someone is saying something about like attachment styles, oh, but they're avoidant, oh, but they're a narcissist, oh my God, how do you think this person is going to show up if you're saying that? And then someone is going to come in with the psychology, but I read here, I read there, but what did I just say? This is about the individual. You are the individual. Don't matter what the psychology says. Who do you as an individual want this motherfucker to be? Do you want them to be an avoidant narcissist? Because if you do, continue with that story, because psychology says so. If you want them madly in love with you and clingy and obsessive and emotionally available, fuck what psychology says. It's what I say, and I am the Lord and there is none else, and what I say goes. And this individual is emotionally available and they wear their heart on their sleeve just for me, and I am the only one in their realm because I am the only one of all time, for I am the Lord and there is none else. like for real. Yes, a narcissist. Like for real. Yes, a narcissist will be a narcissist around you. And like that, thank you for bringing that up, Supernova, because it's like, okay, you can hear a rumor about someone, or you can hear something, whatever, oh, this motherfucker is like this, and if you don't accept it, they cannot display themselves that way to you because you're not accepting it. So they might be a fucking asshole on fire to everyone but you, because you're like, well, I'm cool with them, so I don't know. And I've been showed this. I've been legit showed this so many times, okay? Because I'll be talking to some, like, and I mean that like maybe a group event or something where there's like a bunch of, you know, people, and like there's some people that I don't know, but I have friends in common with them, and it's like a big event, right? And then like after the fact, they'll be like, oh, I saw you talking to so and so. What did you think of them? And I'm like, they're cool. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you're the only person that's ever said that they're cool. Everyone usually thinks they're weird or whatever. And I'm like, well, they were cool with me. And, you know, I've heard that a lot because I'm like, I don't see that in that person. To go back again with the first thing I said about the restaurant and the dude that came up, someone I was with saw them in a unfavorable way. I saw them in a favorable way because it's all your perception. So for me, I'm like, either a motherfucker gonna be cool with me or they ain't gonna be around me. You see what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't, my dude, like, I'm not one to say I can't stand this motherfucker. If I can't stand you, I just won't be around you, period. Like, that's it. You know, like, goodbye in the fucking booty garbage bin. Like I also said in the beginning, like, you're gone, goodbye. Swiped away from my reality forever and ever, amen. Like, I'm not going to pay attention to it because what's that's going to do? I'm going to sit there, I'm going to talk to my friend. Oh, I can't stand this motherfucker. They were chewing gum. And my friend is like, uh-huh. And I'm like, they were chewing gum in a way that I ain't fucking like it. And my friend's like, uh-huh. Like, how stupid. You see what I'm saying? Like, why am I going to fixate on that? So, for me, I'm like, we cool or you ain't even around. You ain't even allowed in my atmosphere. Like, you know what I mean? Because if you don't like something and you're focusing on that which you don't like, then you're gonna get more of that. I have a fun little story time. And this is kind of instant manifestation, but not really. But it showed me what I had a story going on that was a joke, okay? So this goes to show how, like, you perceive someone, okay? So I have this running joke with my friends. Not anymore, because I was like, oh, I gotta change that. So I like altered the joke, but it was nothing I took seriously. It was nothing that I cared about. But like, I have a joke with my friends that different type of individuals that drive different type of cars. I know how that fucking sounds, right? Oh, anyone who drives this type of car, they're like this. Anyone who drives that type of car, they're like that, whatever. And I even say that about the type of car I drive too. So I don't omit from my own fucking jokes, but whatever. So I would always say, oh yeah, like, I would say, individuals that drive this type of car are fucking pricks. And I would say, like, sarcastic, oh, look at that prick in the fucking whatever, right? And it was like a running joke, okay? And so there was this one day that I was at the bank, and there's a big parking lot, whatever, you know, but like, there was some spot, you know, it was like halfway full, but not really. Like, there were spots available, but it was kind of like, you know, it wasn't whatever, okay? So I parked, and I'm like, oh, there's a few open spots, whatever. I didn't think anything of it, but I was parked in between two cars. And I go into the bank, and then I come out of the bank, you know, and I go back to my car, and there's the fucking not the model, I don't fucking know anything about cars. The brand of the car that I would say everyone that drives this type of car is a fucking prick, okay? With open spots in the fucking parking lot. Now, maybe there weren't too many, but there were open spots that this motherfucker could have parked, right? You know the vertical parking where you just pull in, okay, and they have the line spots. So I'm parked like this. This motherfucker is dead, like horizontal, blocking me in. With that same car that I said everyone that drives this type of car is a fucking prick. So I'm like, oh, hell no, motherfucker. I'm like, there's plenty of open spots. Like, so I go to look, and I'm like, maybe there's someone in there, and I could just, you know, wave at them so they can move. Ain't nobody in the fucking car, okay? I'm like, oh, hell no. So I'm like, well, clearly they're in the bank, because the parking lot was only for that bank. It wasn't like a big, you know, fucking shopping mall or whatever. So I go back into the bank, and I'm full Aries. Okay, I walk in and I just made an announcement. The fucking guy greets me like, you know, whatever, the guy, bank manager, whoever, right? Oh, hi, how are you? I'm like, hi, how are you? Yes, I'm just here because, you know, someone is blocking my car in the parking lot, so I just, you know, I just want them to move. He's like, okay. So I stand in the middle of the bank and I'm like, hi, excuse me, I haven't, and I because that was all I was seeing. Okay, I'm like, yes, you know, the plate number, whatever, blah blah blah, in this type of car. Who is the owner of that vehicle? And I'm saying that in front of the whole bank because I don't give a fuck. Because no, fuck you, because you don't block someone in and leave your fucking car when there's spots available. Okay, you don't, like, no, to me that wasn't justified. So I was like, no, fuck this shit. So I made my announcement, and then so this dude turns around, he's like, oh, that's me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to leave. Can you move your car, please? Like, and I'm not being rude because, you know, at that point, I'm like, okay, well, the dude will probably just leave. He's like, okay, give me a minute. Give you a minute, motherfucker? You ain't even supposed to be fucking parked there. You're not supposed to be parked there. What you mean, give you a minute? I'm like, I got places to go. Give you a minute? You're blocking my car. That's not a legitimate spot. And then so he's like, and then so he because motherfuckers are looking now. I don't give a fuck. Look, who's in the wrong? It's not me, motherfucker. So, and I'm not yelling. I'm not making a scene. It was just I was talking very professional, but like with a higher octave. I'm like, okay. So this dude goes out. Oh, I don't understand why you couldn't wait a minute, right? And all the while, right, but leading up to that, I have jokes. Motherfuckers that drive this type of car, fucking pricks. So, and I didn't realize, because in that moment, I just wanted to, like, drive the fuck out of there. So I was, like, concentrate. He's like, I don't understand why you can wait. I was like, I don't understand. Look, there's a spot. I was pointing out, like, this motherfucker's 5 years old. I'm like, you couldn't have parked? Like, and this dude, mind you, was not even at the ATM getting fast cash. Like, motherfucker was sitting down talking to someone, I don't know, planning his will or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, okay? But he was sitting at a table with a motherfucker, which means that you were going to be in there for a while. You blocking my fucking car? Who the fuck is you? Oh, but that's right. The story, motherfuckers that drive this type of car, you fucking prick. So he goes, and I'm like, here's a spot, there's a spot, everywhere, spot, whatever, right? So he moves the car, and he's just like, you know, he did it, but it's like he still had an attitude. But and I'm thinking, I'm like, this dude is a fucking like prick asshole, because you're the one that blocked my car in. You're sitting there like you have all the time in the world. Am I the asshole? Absolutely not, bro. I'm the fuck. And there's spots. You know what I mean? So whatever. So that happened, and then I'm like, go, because you know my days are pretty pleasant and smooth and calm. So this, for me, that happening, even though it wasn't like a major situation, like it got resolved then and there. But I'm thinking, I'm like, because I'm into conscious manifestation at this point, so I'm like, okay, so what in me had a helping hand in creating that? And then I'm like, oh shit, that motherfucker had the same car that I would say everyone that drives this type of car is a fucking prick. Even though I was saying it as a joke, even though I didn't give a fuck about it, what transpired? It had to be that car exactly. And the dude was a fucking prick. Why? Because I had that perception. Even though it wasn't something that's like I'm consciously manifesting, it was the undertone, which is what I said. Okay, you got the God spotlight. You're consciously aware of, okay, yeah, I'm going to go to the bank. Oh, shit. Okay, right? Unconscious. The thing is just running in the background. Oh, well, let's see. There's a story about everyone that drives this type of car is a fucking prick. Okay. Here's the time to insert that into the narrative. So I said, oh, this came from me. And immediately I changed it. Okay, so I changed it, right? I'm like, okay, you know what? All motherfuckers who drive this type of car, they're a fucking prick, but they don't bother me and I don't bother them. I shit you fucking not. The next day, what do I start seeing? This motherfuckers driving that type of car. What are they doing? Okay, when I'm walking, they stop, they let me walk. When I'm driving, they give me, it doesn't matter who came to the stop sign first, they're gesturing for me to go first. They're a prick, but they don't bother me and I don't bother them. Who's letting me in on the fucking freeway? Motherfuckers with that type of car. They're a prick, but they don't bother me and I don't bother them, and that's it. It was fixed immediately. So this is why I'm telling you, even if you have something that you're repeating over and over again, and you think it's a joke, and it's like, you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, you really want to be mindful of what you're saying. Okay, so here's something else that I want to address that I was thinking of earlier. And this one, it's kind of piggybacking off of what I just said, but it opened up the topic, so here we go. Okay, what about when motherfuckers are like manifesting SPs or some shit, and they feel like they're not prioritized and they're not chosen, blah blah blah, and then most motherfuckers are gonna tell you, affirm, I am always chosen, everyone chooses me, right? Okay, SP chooses me. Yes, sure, they choose you. Everyone chooses you, but for what? So I had that fucking revelation to me, because I'm like, chosen can mean for anything. Okay, choosing someone can mean, yeah, they choose you to fucking, I don't know, from their perception, they choose to marry you. They choose to be friends with you. They choose to hire you, right? Even though it's you giving that to yourself, but from there, it looks like they're choosing you, okay? Of all the applicants, you know, we went with you and we chose you. Okay, cool, no problem. My dude, if you at the precinct in a fucking lineup, you want to be chosen then? I am always chosen. Nah, motherfucker. You are chosen. Let's get specific now, because that reminds me of the whole, oh, pricks drive this type of car, and then what happened, right? Get specific. I am chosen for all things I want. Because in some cases you might not want to be chosen. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you're going in, if someone is telling you, just keep saying I'm chosen, I've said that before too, but I only had this realization today. I'm like, yo, chosen can mean a lot of motherfucking things. And this is why, like, you know, my content, sometimes it looks like it's shape shifting, okay, because I'm always elevating consciousness, and I did not even come to the realization, if you just say everyone chooses me, I'm always chosen, bitch, sometimes you just don't want to be seen. So if you're going to say I'm always chosen, say I am always chosen for things that I want. Or if it's an SP always chooses to be in a relationship with me regardless of anything else around them. Like, you want to be specific. What are you being chosen for, my dude? What are you being chosen for? Okay, you out scuba diving, everyone chooses me, and there's a shark swimming and he grabs your ass. So you want to be chosen then? I think not. So be very mindful with your words, because I have seen it play out with me too. Like, I'll get something and then there'll be something like in there, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't specific enough with that, now was I? And who can I, you know, say anything to? Me, right? Because it's only ever me. So I'm like, oh man, okay, I gotta fix that. And so I'm telling you, you get very, very specific, okay? If you want to, and even something, if you're like, everyone is in love with me, everyone is obsessed with me, I mean, okay, let's just go with that. Everyone is in love with you. Everyone is obsessed with you. If that's something you want, you know what I mean? But like, what can that possibly entail? Unwanted attention, stalking, or, you know, and from everyone, mind you, okay? So everyone is obsessed with you, so you magnetize. There's a whale in the ocean gonna rise up out of the sea and fucking be obsessed with you and write you a poem. Like, do you want that? You know what I mean? Everyone is obsessed with you, so you want Meemaw and Peepaw to be obsessively in love with you? That's a little strange to me, but, you know, if that's what you want, hey, go for it. So then I want you to clarify. Well, I don't want you to do anything. I want you to do what you want to do, but I would suggest if you really are taking this shit seriously, you want to clarify a bunch of things before you go start affirming and spewing your ass off, and then you go and get some shit and you be like, whoa, wait, oh shit. Okay, so number one, do you want everyone to be in love with you? You maybe would want everyone to respect you, okay? You maybe want SP 1, 2, 10, how many ever SPs you have, you want them to be in love with you, okay? So what does love look like to you? Because love to this motherfucker over here is gonna look different to this motherfucker around the corner who's saying love is a different thing. So what does love look like to you? You have to get specific, okay? So what does that look like to you? What does obsession look like to you? Because there was this time I was speaking to one of my friends, and we're both into manifestation, and I was talking about an individual that I was dealing with, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're obsessed with me, they're obsessed with me, they're obsessed with me, right? And I wouldn't see it, right? But I would tell my friends things that would go on with them, and my friends like, yo, it worked. And I'm like, what worked? They're like, yo, this person is obsessed with you. And it was for one it wasn't like the whole fucking yard of neighbors obsessed with me. Like, no, we don't need none of that, okay? I like notoriety, but like to that level, now we good, okay? So like my friend is like, yo, like, how do you not see that they're obsessed with you? I'm like, I don't see it, right? And it turned out that my friend's version of obsession was different from my version of obsession. So even if you say, I want someone to be obsessed with me, I mean, what does that look like? Does that look like they never leave your side? Or does that look like they're kicking down your door? Like, because, I mean, you could have either. And if you want either or both, hey, go for it. But like, what does it look like? Get very clear, okay? And this is why I implore you to write shit down specifically, so that you can just say, okay, love to me looks like this. My SP is in love with me this way. My SP is obsessed with me in this way. This is what obsession looks like to me. And then when you affirm, you don't say they're doing this, they're doing that, they're saying this, you just say they're in love with me, they're obsessed with me, because you've already set the parameters of what that love and obsession looks like for you. You know what I mean? You used to joke about your ex-husband being obsessed. He became literally obsessed. You see, there you go. Because even the jokes, man, I'm telling you, the jokes, if you repeat it long enough, it's like, then that's just, stored in there. You ask for a guy to be obsessed with you, and you think he just stalks your TikTok. So, I mean, if that's not the type of obsession you want, then you want to get more specific about what obsession means to you, and what love looks like, and for anyone who's manifesting it, and I think I've said this in another live before, but anyone that's manifesting a relationship with an SP, I would suggest you get very, very specific with how you want that relationship to look and how you want it to go for you, because everyone's definition of a happy relationship is different. It's different. So, okay, I'm married to SP, cool. But the marriage is shit. Oh, okay, now what? You know what I mean? So the SP and the relationship go hand in hand, in my opinion. So if you don't think about the parameters of the relationship, write that down. Or at least think it thoroughly in your mind. And don't think about things that are deal breakers, because you're just putting focus on that. So let's say you want someone who is a certain height, whatever. Okay, that's what a lot of motherfuckers talk about. Oh, SP is at least this height, whatever it is. SP is no more than this height, right? If you want them taller or shorter, like, you have to be specific, okay? No more than this height, right? If you want them taller or shorter, like, you have to be specific, okay? As to what you want. SP always, takes you on date nights, or SP lives 3,000 miles away and you're in long distance and you're cool with it because that's what you want, okay? Remember, like I said, it's about the individual. It's not about what society thinks is a normal or cookie cutter relationship. It's about what you want specifically, because it's your universe. Ooh, you're taking advice being specific this time down to how he looks? Hell yeah. I mean, because you don't need to memorize this shit. You could literally just write it down one time and it'll happen, because your subconscious has it stored. But I would suggest getting specific. This way you kind of already preemptively described what you want to happen. You know what I mean? Instead of like just, okay, yeah, you manifested the SP, but now, I don't know, they work long hours and you don't like that, but you just said, oh, I just want SP, I don't care about anything else, I just want the person. The person and the relationship go hand in hand, my friend. Like, that's just how it is, you know. So, I don't know how long I was talking. I think I'm probably going to jump off soon. But, yes, you could go, I think I answered this, but you don't want them crashing out in your front yard like a lunatic. Be specific. Hey, I mean, listen, you know, if someone wants a motherfucker crashing out in their front yard, like they hauled away in a straitjacket or some shit, okay, you know, like, obsession is a very interesting thing, you know. Oh shit, Amber, I've been on for over 2 hours. Thank you for letting me know. See, time doesn't exist, but yeah, my lives, the recent ones have been a little longer, but you know, it doesn't matter. Yes, Corey Marie will be on YouTube, because I talked about a lot of stuff and I tied a lot of it together, so it's just, you know, if someone jumped in right in the middle, they're probably like, wait, what? Like, that's why I put them on YouTube. But, I mean, you know, with manifesting, it can, you know, it can get very specific, okay? Especially with the affirmations, because the affirmations are literally spelling. You're casting a spell of that what you want to see in the 3D. So with words and things like that, you want to be specific, you know. And if it's a deal breaker or something that you don't want to happen, then you're just gonna not bring any of your focused awareness to that thing that you don't want to happen, or the person or whatever, right? Like, so you manifest SP, the relationship is good, but you didn't, you know, you don't like your in-laws. Does that mean you had to go in and write a fucking list again and say, oh no, okay, now I'm gonna, like, no, you just say, oh man, I'm so glad that they're out of my experience permanently. They're, wherever they went, they're so much happier there, far, far away from us, right? Like, you can revise shit on the spot, you know what I mean? Especially with SPs, because if you're dealing with an SP in the 3D, and, you know, and I've heard this from an interesting amount of people, that they're like, oh, it's easier to manifest the SP when you're in no contact with them, because if you're in contact with them, there's more of a potential for you to be triggered because you're actually interacting with them. But you know, in that condition, you're accepting to an extent that they have free will and that they can trigger you. So you can say, you know, SP shows up for me perfectly. SP is always showing improvements of conforming to exactly what I want. SP is already conformed. SP is showing me more and more each day that my manifestation is working, right? You would kind of go in with that if you are interacting with them. And if you basically, you know, just say what you want them to say instead of what they actually said. So you're happily married to SP, right? They text you at 3 a.m. WYD. I mean, you could respond or you could not. It doesn't matter. But you can just say, oh, they just texted me and said they love me so much. Oh, wow, isn't that sweet of them? And I know how it sounds. It sounds very delulu, but, you know, you're not going to give anything a negative meaning. And if at the bare minimum, the only thing you can do is say, oh, well, they text WYD because, you know, they're thinking about me because my manifestation is working. Like, you're going to give it the most positive spin, okay? And even if you're dealing with them, but you're not seeing any movement, right? But you're dealing with them, but everything looks the same. That doesn't mean that there is not movement happening. It just means that you have an awareness that there's nothing happening. And this can be true for any manifestation where, you know, the minute that you say where you want the GPS to navigate you to, that's the minute that you start moving there, right? But then you get sidetracked and you're like, oh, there's no movement. So now you're looking at no movement. So in now moments, the story that you're going with is your new trajectory, okay? Because remember, time is very, very malleable. It's not one set path. It looks like that from the linear perspective. But what you're doing is you're changing out timelines all the time. That's why a lot of individuals, they get hot and cold behavior because they're like, okay, I'm happily married to SP. Oh no, they didn't answer me. Oh, they must be doing something else. Oh, they must not want to talk to me. Oh, they must hate me. Whatever the fuck, right? You think in all sorts of like crazy shit. And then what happens? Then it looks like it's like up and down, right? Because now instead of saying we're happily married, you went, oh, they must not like you. So now that's your new point of attraction. They must not like you. And if you continue there, then you're just going to be magnetized to, boom, in the 3D it conforms. They must not like you. They must hate you. You know what I mean? So that's really what it comes down to. The time is not like it'll look linear to the ego, but here's a timeline, there's a timeline, right? And you're just, you know, when you get the manifestation in 3D, you'll probably be able to look back and be like, okay, yeah, this unfolded, and then that happened, right? It'll make sense maybe by some logic, but you're really picking and choosing what your end goal is with what you're focused on in the moment. So the end goal can change at any moment because it's always now, and in every now moment you're brand new. You're not even the motherfucker you were when you first joined this live, and neither am I. So you have to keep that in mind. And especially with SPs, like, man, you cannot think of them as the motherfucker that they fucking were. You can't. Because like I said in my most recent video, I was talking about a pair of shoes. And I'm like, you order a pair of shoes, okay, the shoe doesn't fit, you gonna get mad at the shoe, you're gonna yell at it, scream at it, you know what I mean? Like, are you gonna do that? You're just gonna say, oh no, this is not my size, I want to get this other size. It's the same make and model of the shoe, just like the SP is the same motherfucker, but it's just a different size suited to fit your needs. So the more you get angry at the version of SP that is showing up unfavorable, the more that you're reacting to it, you're just creating more of it. And if you're rehashing the past, but if I had done this, but if they had done that, but they said this, but blah, 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 whatever. How many fucking stories, hocus pocus shit can you bring into your consciousness? Like, okay, well, this happened, so that must mean this, and then it means whatever the fuck you think it means. So if you think they said this and that means they hate you, then that's what it is, okay? If you think that they took a shit this morning and you're assigning that to signify that they hate you, guess what? That's what it is, okay? So every time they flush, they gonna think about you because they hate you so much. That's what you're basically doing, okay? So I know that it can be tempting to look at former versions of individuals and replay shit, but you're not. I promise you, even if you do manifest the SP back, most likely the same shit will happen again because you didn't drop the old story. And you have to drop it completely. And I mean, it depends on the individual. Do you think that's easy to just view them as a brand new motherfucker? Or is it something that is not going to be easy for you? But the first way you start is number one, you're not changing them because they are you. You're changing you, and you're just changing the way that you perceive them. And you're just like, okay, SP shows up for me better and better every day. Even if that's all you could do, if you think of like the old story and shit, you know, that can be fine. But for me, the fastest manifestation is just go right to the end. You're not going to look at slow progress. I mean, unless that's something you really want to do. But you just say, yeah, we're already happily married. And you have that list of what your relationship looks like and how they treat you and all that shit. And you're like, yeah, it's already done. Okay, they showed up like a fucking asshole in the 3D. Cool, it doesn't matter. We're already happily married. Everything on this list is in that timeline. I'm accessing that timeline now by my awareness on it. Therefore, it is real. And this version, I don't know what's going on there, but I'm just not going to engage with it in a way where I'm taking it seriously. Like, you can engage with the SP, okay? You could go, if they say they want a friends with benefits and you're cool with that, listen, to each their own. I don't give a fuck what you do with the SP. Physically, I mean, you know, you could do whatever you want. It's what you're doing in your mind, okay? So if you want to block them, or if you want to hang out with them, or if you want to be booty calls with them, or what, listen, that's up to you what you want to do, okay? If you want to fucking, you know, stalk their social media, or I wouldn't recommend that, but you know what, you're gonna do what you want to do. But you interact with them the way you interact with them, as long as you keep your mind on what you want. It can't escape you, okay? Or you can't escape it. So, okay, yeah, you're friends with benefits with SP, but you already know they're married. So the friends with benefits situation is not going to bother you. And if you know that you're already married and you're solid in that conviction, in that story, you're not even going to want to stalk the social media. You're not going to do a drive-by outside the house. You just be like, okay, we're happily married. Doesn't matter. They showed up to the club with 16 hoes. Don't fucking matter, because you're happily married. And guess what? If you revel in a bunch of bullshit, what happens? You get bullshit all over you, right? If you just revel in the knowingness, yeah, I'm happily married to SP, that's it, cool, no problem. Okay, they showed up at the club with 16 zebras. Whatever the fuck, I don't know, okay? They on the trapeze with the elephant. Oh, cool, no problem, okay? SP told you that they hate you, they wish they never met you. Don't ever contact them again. You're the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Okay, cool. We're happily married. Thank you, Corey Marie, for the gifts. And then, here's the thing, okay? A lot of motherfuckers like to hate on someone who's manifesting a specific person, okay? Because they're like, oh, but this person told you that they don't want you, or they don't want a relationship, and why don't you just move on? And, okay, that's coming from whatever, I don't know, doesn't matter. Everyone has their own viewpoints on things. But are you going to bring that into your awareness and be like, oh, well, this person said that I shouldn't manifest an SP because of this, that, or the third? Okay, then now you just made that motherfucker your God. So you know why you want to manifest this SP. Only you know that. Ain't no motherfucker else knows. So if you know that, that's all you need to say, you know what, I'm content with my decision. This is what I want. This is who I want. And fuck all else. I'm the Lord and there is none else. I'm the only one. That's it. So it's like, no one should be, in my opinion, judging why anyone wants anything. They want it because they want it. Would you want someone judging you? Why do you want the shit that you want? I mean, you know, and again, if you're even perceiving that someone else can judge someone else's manifestation, maybe you've seen that and you're like, oh, damn, that's crazy. But you're like, well, no one judges my manifestations because I am everyone, and no one judges me without my permission. You know, like the 3D interactions with people can be very emotionally charged, right? Because you're dealing with another sentient individual. And yes, they do have a sentience, okay? They have feelings, they have thoughts. Like, we're not going to say that they're a fake or an NPC, although, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of NPCs that walk among us, but if you're viewing your SP as like a fake person, I mean, okay, I don't know, then they're only going to show up for you as a fake person, number one. But they're real people, but they're connected to you. And it can seem like they are acting out of doing things because whatever their sentience is going on, it is different from yours, but you're still programming them because you are the only thinker. So they have a sentience, and yesterday they said they hated you, they don't want to talk to you again, but you're like, no, this motherfucker's in love with me, that's it, I declare it as done. They're picking that up because they're you, because they're in your awareness, and there is no separation. All is one, right? That consciousness. And in the ethereal realm, everything just is at once. So they're picking that up, and they're like, from their perspective, they're like, you know what? I kind of actually miss them. I don't know if I hate them. I didn't mean that, right? And So it's like, some people say like they're puppets or they're toy, and like, yes, you can joke around, I mean, whatever, if you want, but like, that the reason why it seems like people can be very triggering is because they appear, because they have that sentience to be doing things on their own, but they're really not. But you at the same time don't know, like, yes, thought transmission is instant, but you don't know when they're going to act out on it, because you don't know when the manifestation is going to happen, and it's not your job to know when in the 3D, because you're so convinced in your mind that it's already happened that it has no choice but to play out in the 3D. And then you don't think about the time, when is SP going to reflect my thought transmission, when are they going to show up, and blah blah blah. And you stop thinking about the timing, and then boom, it happens then when you're not thinking about the timing of it, or why isn't it happening. Some call them puppets. Yeah, I mean, it is, I mean, in a way, I guess you can say it's a puppet if you want, because they're only reflecting you, just like everything is reflecting you. But, the reason why it can seem like they're not conforming, like exactly, like if you had your hand in their ass, like an actual puppet or a fucking ventriloquist, whatever the fuck, right? Like the ventriloquist dummy, and you're like, you know what I mean? It might not be like that instantaneous that they're reflecting your fucking thoughts, but like, I've seen it. I've legit fucking seen it. So if that's the term that anyone wants to use, oh, they're a puppet, okay. I mean, they're having their own conscious experience, but it's being influenced by you, and then they perform accordingly. So however they're interpreting it, right, it's like the fucking satellite, as they say, is broadcasting the signal, but the TV, the fucking Sony TV, has different mechanics than the LG TV, right? They're different, right? So they're interpreting it differently. Maybe the screen looks slightly different. It has different color shades, right? Like, it looks slightly different. So that's how you are the satellite, and you're broadcasting, but like SP number 1 is interpreting it however that comes through, but it's still coming from you, right? It's still the same show. SP number 2, that, right? You're getting the same show back, but it's slightly different, because that's the whole fucking fun of it. That's why there's different motherfuckers around, right? It's like, they're reflecting you, but let's say you're channeling to 2 SPs, you're in love with me, you're obsessed with me, whatever the fuck, right? And then SP number 1 says, I'm so in love with you. SP number 2 says, I'm so obsessed with you, right? It's like, you don't know how it's going to play out, okay? Like, so sometimes you can get different feedback, but you're still the only one broadcasting, and they are just receiving it and spitting that out to you, regurgitating, showing you on the TV screen that which they are meant to project to you by what you are broadcasting to them. Oh, big love from Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome, Calculator Pat. So I think the thing here to keep in mind is that the SP is constantly receiving the thoughts, constantly. It doesn't shut off, right? Manifestation doesn't shut off. They're always doing it. You're always doing it, whatever, right? It's always going on. Just like Wi-Fi is always on, okay? Do you have a phone connected to it at that exact moment? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's always on. So that's how you want to think of manifestations. It's just always on, right? And you want to think of it in a way, oh snap, I finished 1 bottle of water, I got another bottle of water, because that's how I fucking roll. I love me some water. I fucking love it. Oh yeah. Okay. I just dribbled all over myself. It's okay though. Okay. So the manifestation is always on. The thought transmission is always on. That's why, like, whenever I talk about SPs, for the most part, I say, whenever they come to mind, it's like they're standing right in front of you. What are you broadcasting? Because that's it. They could be 10,000 miles away, okay? They could be someone you never even met yet. You are broadcasting the fucking signal, and they are picking it up. However and whenever they act it out, you really shouldn't give a shit. You should just trust so much in your clear channel broadcast that nothing will deter you from knowing that it's done. Can I get an amen in this bitch? Okay? Because with manifestation, it's about trust. And it's not about trusting the other motherfucker. It's about you gotta trust yourself. Okay? You gotta trust yourself that you know that what you want is already done. Okay? If you don't trust yourself, that is what causes wavering. You're looking at time. Oh, well, it should have happened by now. Oh, shit, you wavered. You're not trusting. But when is it going to happen? Well, you're not trusting that it's already done. That's why you're asking when. That's fucking wavering, right? How's it going to happen? It's not up to you to determine the how. It's done now. So what is there to do? Fucking nothing. IKEA furniture already assembled. Okay? That's what it is. That is just what it is. So you need to trust yourself. You need to trust that what you are having going on in your imagination is already done, no matter what the 3D is showing to you. Okay? And the fastest way that I've seen these things play out is with robotic affirmations, which means you're just fucking flooding your mind with the one thing, and you have all of the specifications, you know, laid out in your mind or in a list that you wrote, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm happily married to SP. Okay, boom, that's the end goal. Now we're not deterring from there, but in that we have the intricacies and delicacies of what that relationship looks like and how you are interacting with SP, how they show up for you. That's all ideally written down, and you're like, okay, this is it, because we keeping bullshit out the chat. Okay, it's just SP conform perfectly exactly the way that you want. Okay, cool, here we go. SP, yep, we're happily married. Oh, SP didn't text back. Man, SP is happily married to me. Nothing else going on but that. SP tells you they hate you. Man, SP is happily married to me. SP is so in love with me. SP can't resist me. Okay, whatever happens in the 3D, the fastest way to get results, you have to remain firm. You have to remain solid in the story that you want. And I would recommend just one affirmation. Because if you're going in with the whole list, like motherfuckers have a fucking printout, I'm like, whoa, baby, that's a lot. That's a lot right there. That is too much. All you need to do, have set parameters. Write them down once, and you can go over your list a few times if you want to tweak a few things, but that's it. You don't need to affirm all of that. You're going to drive yourself fucking insane. Unless you want to actually sit there, recite affirmations, memorize 29 affirmations for you to recite to yourself. But no, that could go in a fucking sleep tape. Listen to it while you're at the gym. While you're, put your earbuds in when you're at work. Listen to it while you sleep. Okay? That's for all of that. One affirmation. This is the fastest way I have experienced it. I have seen others experience it. What do you want? What are the parameters of that? One affirmation. SP and I are already happily married. Perfectly to all of my specifications. Everything worked out perfectly, better than I expected. Boom. Okay? That's it. SP's not texting back. SP goes MIA. SP, I don't even fucking know. Okay? SP this, SP that, whatever your mind can conjure, whatever is happening in 3D, the SP does not matter. Because that version of SP who ain't respond, who told you they hated you, that they want nothing to do with you, that's not the motherfucker that you're married to. It's a different SP. It's a different SP. It's a different motherfucker. That's not the same motherfucker. They're different. They're different people. And sometimes you don't understand that they're different people. Okay? You're like, oh, they changed. Yeah, it's going to look to the ego like they changed because they're showing up in the same physical vessel, right? But their personality changed. The way they interact with you changed, right? And that is it. That is them. It looks like I said, I think I said this in another live, it looks like the fucking scale of human evolution, how you see a little ape on the fucking floor and then it transitioned into like a, what is it called? Homunculus? Is that what it is? I don't even fucking know. A caveman, whatever, right? A Neanderthal. It's like transitioning. That's how it looks to the ego. Okay, because the ego's looking at it linearly, but what really happened is that you switched out, just like the pair of shoes that ain't fit you. You switched out the version of SP that said that they hate you to the version of SP who can't live without you, and you're happily married to them. You switched it. You did a little switcheroo. Okay, that's all, and you're focused there. But it's going to look in linear time like they changed. So however that bridge plays out, I don't know, and you're not going to know either, okay? Because you can say this is part of the bridge, okay, but now you took your focus away from them already being who you want them to be, and you put your focus on the bridge. So why are you doing that? Just keep your focus on what you want, you know? And it's really a different person. So it's like, if you're manifesting an ex back, they're not even your fucking ex, bro. Why would you even call them your ex? When did they ever leave your side? They didn't, because they're there with you now. They're your spouse. They're not your ex. How do I manifest an ex back? Number one, stop calling them your fucking ex, because you're going with the story that there's a separation. Twisted. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Quantum Leap. Thank you, Supernova. Yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't actually seen it though, but I could imagine, because it literally says Quantum Leap, and this is a topic that we're talking about. So yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of, you know, different shows, like they'll talk about timeline jumping and shit like that, and really you're doing it every day, you know. It's old, but your dad used to watch it. I've heard of that. I've never seen it though, but I have heard of it. I'll have to check that out. You guys give me like so many good recommendations. I remember there was, the last time I was on live, someone gave me a recommendation for a movie. I forget what the title is, but I do have it like saved so I can visit it. But like, I love sci-fi shit, like especially about parallel realities and like quantum physics and all that. I love it. Ooh, it keeps lagging. Oh, push. Thank you, Corey Marie. That's it. With Dakota Fanning. Ice with Dakota Fanning. I don't know if you guys are seeing it lagging. I have no idea. But someone told me a little bit. Quantum Leap. Oh, Coherence. Yes, I've seen Coherence. That's in one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Of all time. Coherence, it's so good. And it's like an indie movie too. It's like, oh my God, like it's that, if anyone in the chat wants to know what shifting timelines is, watch Coherence. I love that movie. I revisit it every few months or so because it's just so good. It's like they're literally, well, I'm not going to give spoilers, but you can see they're literally going into different timelines. It's amazing. Ooh, someone is talking about telepathically communicating in there. Oh, shit. Yeah, Supernova. Check that out if you're interested. It's really good. It's like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's an action movie. It's kind of like sci-fi cerebral, which I fucking love. But it really shows you, like quantum, you know, timeline jumping. There are a lot of movies that show that type of stuff, like the quantum jumping. There was some movie that everyone was talking about that was on like Apple TV, but I don't have Apple TV, so I never saw it. But like everyone in the manifestation community at one point was talking about this show that was talking about like timeline leaping. One also about timeline leaping that I really like is the OA on Netflix. Like that one, oh man, that one is really good too. That like for timeline shifts. Dark Matter, no. I have heard of Dark Matter, but I don't. Is that the show? Was that Dark Matter was the one on Apple TV, because I don't have Apple TV. I have no idea if that is. I have heard of that one though. Maybe it is it. So, I mean, if you want any of those, even Interstellar, the movie Interstellar has, you know, reference to different timelines and things like that, where he's in the Tesseract, where he's able to see into different dimensions of time. Every movie is technically timeline shifting. Yeah, I mean, we could go with that, definitely. Oh, okay. Parallel reality, Dark Matter, the one on Apple TV. Maybe, maybe I'll get Apple TV for a month and then cancel it just to watch that show. Who knows? or maybe I'll like see if anyone that I know has it. Who knows? But my phone is on 15% and I've been talking for a while. So I'm going to jump off here, and this is going to go on YouTube. And like some of you said that it's lagging, so I'm not really sure, but I don't really see it lagging. But this will be on YouTube at a certain point. Might take a little longer to upload because it's super long, but thank you all for joining, for the conversation, for the likes, for the gifts, for the comments, and for sharing and subscribing. Thank you all so much. And I will be posting on TikTok. This will be on YouTube. My YouTube channel is spelled the exact same way as my TikTok channel. You remained very interesting the whole time. Thank you, Adriana. Have a great night. Aw, thank you, Y2K. Thank you all for being here, and enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, morning. I don't know, time doesn't exist. We're all here now, but enjoy it. Remember to be present, and remember, if a thought pops up, what is your homework? Do I want to see this play out in 3D? If yes, proceed. If no, you gotta change the thought out. All right. Aw, you're welcome. Great chat as usual, guys. Have a good night, and this will be on YouTube. Bye. This will be on YouTube. Bye.